This is the place they say people come from far, far, far away to find their dreams, chasing down these meteors and comets called dreams in the sky of life.
What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? I am here with Nerdman, Hot Takes Tuesday. We're here to talk House of the Dragon. We may have another topic for you guys, a topic about the new Lord of the Rings show. If we do talk about it, we'll just talk about episode 1. But first and foremost, we're here to talk Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon.
Yo, what up? What up, peeps?
Me and Nerdman haven't streamed in a while. It's been a while. You've been living life. And, I can't fault Nerdman for wanting to live life. I've been living life too.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to live life outside of outside of this bubble. But we're back. We're hitting it hard. And we're doing House of the Dragons, bro. House of the Dragons, episode 1 and 2.
Nerdman, I think I have an idea of how you feel, but so far, I like it. I think it's as far as a prequel goes, this is not a continuation. This takes place right at you can say the height of House Targaryen.
Yeah.
It's
like the beginning of like the fall, if you want to say
right.
that. But which happens a little bit, it's quite a bit before, if I remember the Game of Thrones lore.
They said this is 127 years before Game of Thrones. So this is 127 years.
Right.
And this is pretty much getting closer to downfall. So they're not exactly at their height because they lost some dragons too.
But the actual war where it's like the war of where they all like start warring with the dragons, that happens like 50 years before Game of Thrones or something like that. It doesn't happen because if you remember in the beginning of Game of Thrones, what's his name, the brother and Daenerys, they just run away. Right. So the Mad King, all of that kind of stuff, had just happened. And so I know that where the dragons start fighting each other and they lose all their dragons, I think it's not so long before. So I'm kind of curious how they're going to do that, because that's what I thought the show was about. It's when all the dragon, they lose all their dragons essentially because they start fighting each other.
Yeah, and where this is at, they're not. We only seen 2 dragons so far. We seen Daemon's dragon, right? Daemon, or is it Damien?
Daemon,
yeah. It played by Matt Smith. Matt Smith is doing a great job. This is his redemption from Morbius. I see this as his Morbius redemption. He's been great so far as Daemon. He has a dragon. Yeah. He has a dragon. His brother lost his dragon. He rode on a dragon, but that dragon has passed. And his daughter Rhaenyra, right?
Yeah.
She has
a dragon. Yeah.
He has a dragon too. But the father, what's the father's name? Viserys?
The father is Viserys.
Viserys. He has lost his dragon, and in this first episode, this shit was insane. So pretty much how they set it up, pretty much how they started and just established that House Targaryen, the previous king before Viserys, believes that the only way for House Targaryen to fall is that House Targaryen takes itself down. That's the only way House Targaryen could fall, which
is kind of true.
Is true. Like, they got all this power. At this point, what can stop them? Only themselves. And he sets up a council, and all these people come to meet, and they vote who they want to be the next ruler. It's between between 2 of the cousins, Viserys and this other princess, queen or whatever. And House Targaryen does not want a woman to rule, so they decide to pick Viserys. because they didn't want a woman to rule.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and where this is playing into, you see this reflect into even the relation between Viserys and Rhaenyra. You see how disconnected he is with his daughter because he rarely talks to her.
Right.
He rarely
Well,
talks to her. He's been hoping for a boy.
just to give, yeah, exactly. With he basically has sacrifices his wife to have this kid.
Oh, that scene was insane. Well, we'll get to that soon. That scene
we'll get to. We should maybe do we can go down a breakdown of what happened during the episode. But my overall impressions is I really, really liked it. I like this show a lot. It really hit my Game of Thrones because everyone harps on about season 8, and I understand it. I didn't hate season 8. I hated more season 7. I thought season 7 was where it all went downhill, and even some of
season 7
6,
is definitely when issues started coming up.
Yeah. Even some of season 6 kind of was but the thing about season 6 is it ended so well. So you got it with the Battle of the Bastards and the Winds of Winterfell or whatever. Yeah. So or Winds of Westeros. I'm not sure which one it was. But so that ended kind of well. But in any case, this is really kind of tickled my Game of Thrones kind of oh yeah, these characters are hitting hard, whatever. My only problem and my only issue I'll say this quickly. My only issue is that I'm not really how would you say attached to any of these characters the way I was attached to Tyrion, the way I hated Joffrey. You know what I'm saying? Right. Immediately from the beginning, Joffrey was my boy because I like a good villain and I hated him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I hated Cersei. Cersei was my girl as well. All right, let's go. These are cold-hearted villains. I those kind of characters for me are just missing, like the Lannisters, Tywin, that kind of stuff. And I'm just wondering if we're going to build up to something where we feel okay, these characters are really as iconic as Daenerys and Jon Snow and stuff like that, and Jon Snow's brother.
Well, and to bounce off your point real quick, because I'm glad you mentioned, because I was about to say something about that, was that I agree with you. I'm not attached to nobody yet, but I do like these characters this cast a lot. I like Daemon so far, really my favorite. Mm-hmm. Rhaenyra too. I like her too.
Rhaenyra is great.
Viserys is he's giving me
he's a great performance, but
yeah,
the character
he's giving me Ned Stark vibes. You know Ned was he's that king that was too weak, right? He's giving me Ned Stark vibes, a king that's too weak. He's not strong, really that strong-willed to do what he needs to do. But
Ned was strong.
By actors so far, you can see, how I can predict. I feel like I can predict his downfall, and I'm seeing a Ned Stark type of path.
Yeah, he made a real bad mistake in episode 2. That was a stupid mistake. I mean, technically, they wanted him to marry a 12-year-old girl. Yeah, and that's always horrible. But in universe, you know what I'm saying? In the universe of Game of Thrones, he should have married that 12-year-old girl. Right?
Yeah.
There's straight up no.
Because now we see after that what happens when you don't, and
his whole fleet depended on it. He's
right.
If you think about medieval times, right? Your navy was the most important part of your army, dude.
Yes.
That stops things coming to your shore, right? Because once they're onshore, they can do the most damage, and then also it allows you to attack, which means everyone's scared of you, right? Because you've got a really supreme fleet. Plus, they've got air with the dragons, of course. But that's your big fucking, in terms of like the human or the I don't know if you want to say human, yeah, I suppose in terms of your human army, that's the most important fucking part. And you just pissed off your sea guy, your naval guy, and that was I couldn't believe he did it. I was like, I was sure and I loved it. I loved it, but
and what pissed him off was that Viserys was not like acting like even Rhaenyra was like, yo, we need to flex with these dragons. Like she even, I think in episode 2, she insisted like, let's roll up with the dragons, and Dad's like, no, and it's like, I understand, but then I'm just like, dude, you got fucking dragons, flex, scare these motherfuckers, because at this point, I don't think they really have. I don't know what they was using at this point to kill their dragons and stuff, but we saw in Game of Thrones, it took a couple seasons until they can actually get some good specific tech to kill dragons, right? It took a while. We saw that in season 8 when that naval fleet got those special spears to kill a dragon. So, Rhaenyra and Daemon,
Rhaenyra is hitting hard.
She been making good points, like, Dad, like, you're being.
I think you're being a bit too nice with Daemon though, because Daemon's an idiot. Daemon's also a fool. Like they're both.
Oh yeah.
You can see that they're both like not like good to be leaders. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even mean
Rhaenyra. So far, she's definitely potential for a good leader. Daemon and the dad. Daemon is too hot-headed. He doesn't listen. He's pretty much about himself more so than everybody else. He loves his niece, but that's
he loves his brother as well, though. He loves his brother, like I remember at the end of the episode, which I really, really enjoyed, was like this guy, the black dude, Steve Corlys Valerian. He was like basically saying his brother's weak, blah blah blah, and he's like, hey, wait a second, don't I get to talk about my brother like that, you don't get to talk about my brother like that. So he actually clearly loves his brother, and I think that's what's really good about this show, is like, in the end of it, it's really about family dynamics being put under an extremely being put under the stress of an extremely extreme situation, right? Like it's of this dynastic what do you call it? Like I'm trying to think of the word, but like under this like dynastic like you have to, I've forgotten the word I'm kind of trying to use, but it's what was said. It's a specific system they're stuck in for their family, where they have a dynastic system. They have to follow this specific system, but we see with this system, and even with the council, I think even the council is at fault for this too, because Viserys really cannot, even though he's king, right? He can't really get to make all the decisions he wants, because he has his advisors telling him, Daemon should go here, Daemon should do that. Even though he may, and I think a lot of his decisions is influenced by his council, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but his council. I think it is a bad thing. I think that's the one thing Daemon said that was actually like true. This guy's a cunt. Like, this Hightower guy is a fucking cunt, and we know it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
how can he trust this?
Right, and remember, Daemon wanted.
Hightower.
What's up, WZ? Daemon wanted to stick by his brother's side, like he wanted to be, like a personal guard by his side. And when they sent him the Dragonstone, I'm saying Dragonstone, that's right, that's the name, right?
Yeah.
They sent him a Dragonstone, sent him away, and sheltered him. Well, they basically banished him elsewhere. They created tension that didn't need to be there. And I don't think it was Viserys' fault that he was there. It was more so the council all coming together, coming to this decision of, let's keep Damien away here. Let's tuck him away. And when you present somebody like that, I mean, you can't be shocked when they come back for a little bit of vengeance. Not saying he came back like a ravaging force, but he already showed that he's going to be a problem. He took a dragon egg just to do a bluff, basically do a bluff with the whole pregnancy thing with the baby and the dragon thing. Like, he just did it to start.
Yeah, but even his wife was like, "This is a dumb bluff. Like, what were you gonna do?" Because he knew he's not gonna. He doesn't want to. He wants.
I mean,
to
she
be
didn't even know about the
accepted.
baby thing either. She didn't know about the baby thing either. She was
exactly.
Like,
he wants to be accepted. Like, he wants to be. You know what I mean? But he's at the same time, he's like a prince that's out of control. Mm-hmm. He's completely seduced by his own power. He goes around the town just like, you know, like what was he, master of laws or something? Master.
He was a leader. Well, he was a general of the city police, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
I was the general of the army, but he was the general of the city police, and he was just going around cutting off people's penises and stuff if they rape somebody. Which I mean, I'm not fully against. You know.
Yeah, I'm not against that. Like,
but it's
he was cutting off hands if you were a thief, if you're a murderer. Yeah, like, so it was like, yeah, he was just terrorizing the community, basically. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's goes in there and he's doing it just for kicks. He ain't doing it because he cares that the person raped someone or he cares that the person murdered someone. He's doing it because he enjoys it, because he's a sadist. And you can't have someone like that, like, you know, ruling the kingdom, because the people, you know, essentially they'll turn against you if, like, there's not peace, if there's not, you know. So I get
we saw what the people did in Game of Thrones season 4 or 5 with Cersei. When the church came in, we saw how they treated Cersei and what Cersei did back to them.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes sense to me that that they want to keep him away, but this Hightower has his own reasons. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. Hightower is a son of a bitch. He's a little prick. I like him.
Oh, that dude's a douche. He's
a douche. I think he's dicking his own daughter as well. I'm sure of it. Do you think he's dicking his own daughter?
It kind of feels like it. Yeah, I was getting that attention when she was putting on his armor and tighten up his stuff, and he grabbed her hand like, why do you hurt yourself so much? I was like, kind of very intimate moment. Too intimate.
Yeah, he's a little too intimate with that chick, bro. And I think he was
you see what he's doing.
You know what? I think he was training her. This is my theory. He was training her sexually to please.
He probably was. Because that's why he sent her into the room with Viserys.
Yeah.
To comfort him.
Yeah, exactly. And Viserys, he fell for it, hook, line, and fucking sinker, dude. And it's like, you're gonna take this chick as your wife? Like, what are you, nuts? You're gonna, like, he's basically alienated like everyone. Like, because everyone was telling him to marry the girl. It was a strong match. Yeah, it was again in the universe, right? Obviously, it's completely fucking horrible. Like, this 12-year-old girl. I was so uncomfortable at that scene, bro. With that 12-year-old girl, I was like, holy shit! Did she just say that?
Well, and I think even the guy, the dude that's being a straight up douche to Damien, he's trying to get his bloodline in with the king. So he probably gets more leeway with some stuff. Like, if he has his daughter get with the king, now his bloodline is about to be attached to the king. So, it kind of makes sense what he's doing. I feel like he's trying to push Daemon out. He's definitely down for pushing Rhaenyra to be queen or whatever. He's not against that.
What, Otto Hightower? No, he's against her being queen. I think I think the whole council is against her being queen.
Oh yeah, they are.
They're against
they haven't been pushing that hard on it.
They have. They've been doing it in like that Maester. you know, we can save your son, but your wife has to die.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? There's the two things they don't want is either Daemon or Rhaenyra, and I think they'd probably even want Daemon before Rhaenyra. That's how deep it goes with, you know, they don't want a woman ruling the realm.
Yeah,
like it's as simple as that. They don't want a woman with that kind of power ruling the realm, and that's why there was this cold scene, bro, where Rhaenyra was confronting the queen that never was.
Oh yeah, and she asked her about her. I love that scene. She when
is it
she,
Princess Rhaenyra? No,
yeah.
we've been calling her Princess Rhaenyra, and then there's Rhaenyra. Okay.
Yeah, Rhaenyra is Rhaenyra.
Yeah. Yeah, so she basically goes to her. Oh, you know, when they said I will be queen,
it's Rhaenyra. Her name is Rhaenyra. You guys, I'm sorry. We've been saying Rhaenyra. Her name is Rhaenyra.
Yeah, Rhaenyra, and then there's Rhaenyra, who's the queen that never was. But she goes to her, and I loved it. She goes, you know, when they rejected you, you know, and when it was my turn, they bent the knee. And then she goes to her, oh yeah, you feel like you're really the queen when you're serving the teas or whatever in the and I was like, she got her, bro. She got her. Like, she's serving teas. You think you're really gonna be queen when the most they will have for you on the council is that you serve them drinks? It's not happening, babe.
She's smart. I mean, she's not like, the one thing about her is, like, you know, I see a young Dany in her too. You know, I see a young Dany.
Definitely.
She's willing to like use their best assets, right? She's not like, look at her compared to her father, right? You see her hanging out with the dragons and stuff, and especially her dragon. You see her being more associated with their power that they have, and she's like, she treats it as like, you know, it's like family, right? Viserys, like, I don't know what this guy's doing. He's like just around moping and stuff, lost his wife and stuff, and sad and shit. And, you know, I seen Rhaenyra show more strength in this moment than Viserys has. Like, he's not well to be king right now. He's not all that well. He's not making all the best decisions. I mean, look at that decision he just made about marrying the freaking daughter and stuff. It was super random and shit.
I mean, yeah, you say he reminds you of Ned Stark. I think Ned Stark was,
I feel like he can go down
I think he's dumber than Ned Stark, to be honest. And I was never like, I liked Ned Stark as a character, but I never understood why people didn't accept that he got killed, because he needed to get killed. His own actions forced him to get killed. He was acting completely off nobility and no intelligence,
right?
Like about the situation. But the thing about Ned Stark, which I'll give him credit for, was he was under a lot more threat than this king.
Yeah,
like internally, like he was in, you know, like he was behind enemy lines. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when the shit was going down, there was only a 10% chance that he could do what he wanted to and do the noble thing and get away with it. They're like, with people like fucking Joffrey around and Cersei and all of them kind of cats, you ain't gonna get away with things. You've got a really high margin of error to like really like get what you want done, like if you're a noble person in that situation. Whereas this king, he's got all the power. Mm-hmm. And he's still like doing idiotic things. He ain't behind enemy lines.
Yeah,
he still could recover if he does the right thing. Right. You know what I mean? He could still recover at any point if he decides to do the right things. But he's just choosing dumb ass shit to do. And I like him as a character because he's a great actor. The guy who plays him is a great actor. But when he falls, bro, I'm just gonna be like, yo, dude.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He's being too weak because, like you said, Joffrey, right? While Joffrey is a hot-headed kid, and it was really he needed more advisors around him. Remember when Tommen became king, right? Let's say if Joffrey was alive when Tommen became king, and that thing happened with his mother. Do you think Cersei would have been paraded around the street naked and people shaming her if Joffrey was king?
You know, that's an interesting question. People have asked this a lot, and I've said this a lot, that Joffrey would have handled the High Sparrow better. I don't know he would have. I think he probably would have made an alliance with him as well, because Joffrey isn't smart. He's just sadistic. But the problem, I think, would have more been, would the High Sparrow have been able to tolerate Joffrey's sadism? Clear, like,
No, they would. I don't think they would get along because of that. Because I think the High Sparrow would have not been able to like infect Tommen with their ways the way they did to basically take him. And you see Cersei getting paraded. Cersei is an asshole. Well, we know that. Tommen is letting his mother get paraded around the street naked in front of his own people.
Yeah, no, Tomlin was weak. Tomlin was weak when he flew off that. When he jumped off that thing, I thought hilarious, bro. I was like, hilarious. I loved it.
But see, this why imagine Joffrey in that position. Joffrey would have never allowed that shit to happen. He would have said
Joffrey wouldn't look. This is what would have happened. I think pretty much the same thing would have happened, except Joffrey wouldn't have committed suicide. You would have been like, "Oh, all right, that bitch is dead. Whatever. I'll get a new queen."
Right.
And then he would have faced his mother, basically. Yeah. You know, I think that's it. Like, because to me, Joffrey didn't care about Cersei too tough either, right? Like,
yeah, I would say he cared.
He would be like, "Oh, my mother getting paraded around the street naked, as long as it ain't me." You know what I'm saying? If it was him that they wanted to parade around the street naked, then I think some heads might have got chopped. Like,
heads would have got chopped, would have lost hands, eyeballs, and all that. But I can guarantee you this: Joffrey wouldn't have let that shit slide, and he wouldn't have let that slide.
I don't think it would have got to the point in the first place. That's the thing. I think the High Sparrow would have seen there's no way of dealing with this king because he's too unpredictable and too, like, I think like he would have met this guy first, and the first thing, before he was even able to persuade him. Do you know what I mean? Because the High Sparrow would have needed time to persuade Joffrey. And I think before he even had time to do that, Joffrey would have already been like, "You don't amuse me. You're not amusing. Cut his feet off."
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Joffrey would have killed, even though in Joffrey, the downside with him is that, let's say you're trying to build alliances and stuff, you can't really guarantee if he can even do this, why he needs advisors. But one thing you can guarantee is that he will put his foot down. Viserys isn't doing none of that. He has the tools to put his foot down, and he's not putting his foot down.
Right, exactly, and that's the difference.
Just to avoid this
you can either be feared or loved, right? Like, as a leader, and sometimes in particular scenarios like that, it's better to be like the Machiavellian, like prince, right, where you are feared, than But I wouldn't
right
dismiss.
Now, look at what this new opposition, this new villain we may potentially see, the crab feeder, right? Look at what he's doing to his fleet, feeding them the crabs and stuff, and just like basically making a mockery of his fleet. People are seeing this. The world as when someone on the council said, "King," he said, "King, the kingdom is watching." Basically, people are watching your fleet get humiliated, and you're doing nothing about it.
You're doing nothing about it. And I'll tell you what, though. I have a question for you. One, Rhaenyra, right? Because it seemed to me that she's so smart that she even realized that him having a son with this small Targaryen girl, the 12-year-old or whatever,
Yeah.
that she was like, it's my duty. It's fine. If you have a son and whatever, and I'm passed over, that's fine, as long as it's with a good match, right?
Right.
Did you get that sense, or was that just
Yeah,
me? Or
I
do you
think
think that she would have been bothered either way? Like,
I don't think she would have
that
been.
she was good.
I don't think she would have been bothered. I think what bothers her more so is that her and her father didn't have a relationship, and when he tries to come in now and do all this stuff, it's like, who is you? But I agree with you. I think that, let's say he did have a son, he had the babies with the girl, had a son, she wouldn't be tripping. I mean, she got her dragon and stuff. I mean, she's not. I think she's willing to take this for the duty of the family, like for the family, for the sake of the people, the kingdom, not more so just like, I want to do it because I want to be that in that role. I think she can care less about it. I mean, she barely been complaining about not being queen and stuff. Like
Yeah.
she just, her issue has been her dad literally not talking to her for like years and just straight up neglecting her because he doesn't give a fuck. She's a woman and he neglected her.
Mm.
And
So
now he's trying to be in her life because and it's not even more because she is his daughter. It's more so like, I need you to be queen. I need you to get you ready to be queen now.
So what do you think? I mean, like in terms of the theme of the show, do you think it's as strong as Game of Thrones? Because really the theme here, it seems to be, is about the like women in positions of power, and how even in positions of power they are kind of limited by their gender. And it also, it seems to be about like family as well, and family in the family who clearly care about each other, but in situations like where there's this dynastic system, as you said, that the pressure that puts on them. So those are the two themes really of the show, and I'm comparing it to Game of Thrones, and I don't know that it's as strong. That's one of the complaints I have about it.
Because we in Game of Thrones, we have to factor in like they was building up to like they was building up to like a big event thing, and what we was watching so far was these different sides: the Starks, the Lannisters, in these different groups, and see their little issues they're dealing with. It was hopping through so many different characters. And this House of Dragon feels like it's a little bit more personal because it's focusing literally just on one house at the moment.
Right, exactly.
Right. It's not like it's not going to be hopping between so many different people. And
the hook.
It's more contained. Yeah. It's more contained to me. Yeah. And I think the premise they're working with,
But where's the hook though? Do you know the hook for Game of Thrones was who's going to get the Iron Throne, right? As soon as the King Baratheon gets killed and Joffrey takes the Iron Throne, it's like from there, it's like are the Targaryens with Daenerys going to get it? Is it going to, are the Starks going to be able to defeat the Lannisters? Are the Lannisters going to remain on the throne? etc.
Yeah, and that
or is it Baratheon is going to?
Right, and that always been the pull of Game of Thrones. Like, who's going to sit there? Like, we're seeing these power grabs happening, but who's going to be the one to seize that power? Right. In this case, for this, we're just watching the rise of a queen in a society with it's not too far different for Game of Thrones, but in a society that does not want a woman to be queen. I think it's a good premise. It's not like this hasn't been done before, but I like that this is I like this contained aspect of it, honestly. Because the thing with Game of Thrones, right? While there's a lot of characters I liked, the show would hop the characters that I do not give a freak about, and would at least with this, I know the characters I
Yeah.
like. It's going to be contained with them for now.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many seasons they may branch this off into. Supposedly, I think there's only 12.
Who were the ones you didn't like in Game of Thrones, by the way? When they came, I bet you it's the same as mine.
Reek.
I would have
Sansa. No. Sansa, right?
Sansa was all right.
Sansa. Ooh, who's that freaking that jackass?
Sansa was all right because it was always with Joffrey, so I always
who's
got
the
entertained
jackass
by
in the
Joffrey.
wheelchair.
Oh, yeah.
With
That's the one
Hodor.
I was thinking. You with Hodor. That guy, that fucking guy. What's his name again?
Bear.
Wait, don't look it up.
I'm trying to remember his name. It starts with a B. You guys, what was Ned Stark's son's name?
Brother, no, the brother. Oh yeah, no, the son. Baron. Oh fuck.
I forgot that bastard's name. Anytime the show would skip to him, I'm like, please take us back to something else.
I'm telling you, bro.
But the best parts of Game of Thrones was always Arya and the Hound, Jon Snow, Daenerys.
You've lost me there, man. Jon Snow was fucking boring as well.
I like for me, I like when Jon Snow joined like the wildlings. That's when I started liking more of his side stuff. Daenerys,
Bran the Broken.
Bran the Broken.
Bran the fucking Broken.
Anytime anything with Bran came up
from the beginning, from when they pushed him off the fucking thing, I was like, good.
Oh, he should have died.
I hope he's fucking dead. And then that feeling, that impulse that I had that he should have died, only got more as I saw the character develop. I was like, I was right. That little rat bastard should have died. And by the end of it, when he goes, that's why I came here. I was like, you motherfucker, you should have died. I knew it. I knew you were a rat little bastard. Anyway, and
the fucking thing is, he knew this whole time. He knew. He didn't want to tell anybody so he doesn't die.
That whole, I'll give you Jon Snow. Jon Snow, I sometimes I felt like, it's a little
earlier
bit boring.
Seasons up until the Wildlings. I agree. Jon Snow was abysmal to watch.
Yeah,
but when it got to the Wildling season and he got taken by them, that's when I started liking Jon Snow's dynamic in his character.
Yeah, I mean, there was a thing about it with Jon Snow where there were points where he was cool. I liked him in the Battle of the Bastards and stuff like that. I thought that was really excellently done. But the only problem I had with Jon Snow was that there were large stretches of it where he was just on about these what was it, the Ice Kings or the Night King and the White Walkers, and they were the least interesting part of the show for me. Like, honestly,
that's what this and that's in Game of Thrones. Like, they was building up to this potential alliance type of thing, which we knew wasn't going to last because this is based off medieval Europe. Alliances do not last for that long, anyways, in medieval Europe. But and then that alliance gets wasted in a sense because it really didn't.
Yeah. I mean, in the end of the day, the Night King, it was just like, yeah, okay, they're going to fight some White Walkers. It's going to be cool. They're going to have a little battle. But in the end, what I really wanted to know was who's going to be on the Iron Throne.
Yes,
that's what I cared about. Like, so any characters that were going towards that, I was always more interested in than the characters that are talking about White Walkers and shit like that.
And then even in Nerdman, and that's what pissed me off when again, I'm gonna say, fuck Jon Snow, that piece of shit, betrayed his queen, talking about, I don't care, Danny, I'll let you be queen, blah blah blah. and he gets a little bit salty and sad that she killed people at King's Landing. Fuck the people at King's Landing. What the hell? Like, fuck them. And then he stabs her, and then freaking Drogon's like, oh, I'm not going to kill Jon Snow. Kill the piece of shit. You just killed your mother.
No, exactly. He should have roasted his ass. Here's the thing. That you reminded me why I'm so pissed off with Jon Snow. Let's take away the King's Landing stuff, right?
Right.
Even before that, him and that little fucking piece of shit fucking dwarf were doubting the breaker of chains, the mother of dragons, the unburnt. Yeah, they were doubting her because she killed fucking House Tarly. You know, that fat piece of shit that Jon Snow used to run around with, who was another awful character, one of the most disgusting characters I've ever seen in TV history. That was his Sam Tarly. They killed his father, and that was the reason that because he wouldn't bend the knee, and that was the reason that what's his name, Tyrion and Jon Snow started doubting him. Wait a second, you fucking hypocritical pieces of shit!
And they were doing you
killed a child. You killed you killed a child because he stabbed you, right? And Tyrion, he killed a fucking prostitute because she slept with his dad. What fucking moral superiority do you have? It's like,
right.
It's so
and let's not forget the first 4 seasons up until Tyrion got betrayed by his own people at King's Landing. Kings, look at what he was part of. They were literally treating the people of King's Landing like shit. They was oppressing people before Tyrion got lied on and by his own people. Like, and then he's like, "Oh, Danny, this isn't right." Motherfucker, how can you tell people what's right and you barely change yourself? You just defected to a new faction. You're still you. You just defected to a new faction of people.
Yeah, I was always Team Daenerys. Like, to me, I was like totally Team Daenerys. I mean, I was a little bit Team Cersei as well. But that's just me. That's just me being on my nerd man shit. But like, in terms of the good guys, I was Team Daenerys, like straight up. And maybe what's her name? The little Stark girl. She was the best Stark.
Sansa. Oh, Arya.
Arya was the best Stark.
Well, and that's why when I was Team Cersei, because Cersei was smart. She was playing chess. She was playing chess. Everybody else was playing checkers. Even though, and you know what? I'm gonna tie this back to House of Dragon, right? Cersei was getting downplayed because she was a woman too, up until she was able to get Joffrey in, and then she became queen after Joffrey died. You can kind of see the same thing going to be playing out here in a sense. Not saying Rhaenyra is going to be like that, but these women that get pushed down into these positions, and they have to use other means aside from brute strength and bronze to make their way out and get success. They got to use their brain. Too.
Yeah,
they got to use their brain. They may have to emotionally manipulate some things, but they're going to fight you using their head. They're not going to fight you using bronze because they can't. They know they're not strong enough to. Even Rhaenyra, right? She has a dragon. She knows she can flex all this, but she's just being, calm, poised, and using her brain.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, can I ask you what you think? I mean, where do you think it's going from here? And what do you think of this Crab King person? You think it's going to be dope, or what's your? Or do you think he's going to be a great villain, or do you think what's your take on?
I'm contemplating, and this is side of Game of Thrones I always wanted them to touch upon because they don't dial into it too much, but like the mythical aspect about it, because I feel like this dude may be like something a little mythical. This crab feeding dude, because you got these dudes on the beach, he's summoning crabs to eat people and stuff. I don't know, he's probably got some weird mythical powers and stuff. I mean, they got dragons, so who knows? But I'm wondering how much of a threat he could be because they have dragons. That's the thing. Because we've seen what the powers of dragons can do. Now we know dragons can be killed. We just don't know what technology they was using at this time to kill off dragons so flawlessly. But I think he's going to be more so of a threat as long as he can stay far away from where the dragons are at. So I think the way he's going to attack is going to be through a lot of stealth, hiding in plain sight, and sabotage, basically. I don't think he's going to be a villain that you're going to see go head up front into a battle. He's going to corner you, corral you, and then do what he needs to do.
Because it seems to me where they're going with this is that, you know, what's his name? Matt Smith, Damon is gonna take on this Crab King, right? And use it as to show that, hey, look, I'm a strong king. I'm a strong. If I was king, I'd be strong. I'd take these people out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna kind of fail. And I'm just wondering how he's gonna fail when he's
and that's why I think
maybe Rhaenyra is gonna have to come in and save his ass.
And that's why I think this villain is he knows that he can't take this house on up front because they have dragons. So he's going to have to fight from afar in plain sight without being seen, but still be able to do as much damage as he can do. Because let's be real, they can just go in there, blow up the whole fleet with the dragon fire. But can they really? Will he be on any of these ships when they do these attacks and stuff? Will he be tucked away here? Who knows? Like, I'm wondering what type of villain he's going to be, because I don't think he's going to have another power to rival the dragons if they have dragons. So what is his power? I think his power is going to be within fear, sabotage, you know.
I think you know, this thing of the crabs, it was sick the way they were like the way they were like.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, maybe there may be something mythical, like something mystic about this individual here. Like, there might be some magical abilities that we see.
I have one question though, because I've heard that the girl who's now playing Rhaenyra is going to be replaced by an older person.
Yeah, it was.
And they're doing that with the... I don't mind so much with the other girl, the wife of the king.
Yeah.
But I really think that that's a stupid mistake if they're going to replace this girl. Because she is fire. Like, the older one has to be so good for me to care as much about her as this girl. Like, if they were going to do that, they should have just done it in a couple of scenes with her, because now I'm invested in her. Do you know what I'm saying? And like,
this actor they have is 22, right? They need to make her play an older version of herself. They can easily just use her, just put some makeup on her, make her look older than she needs to be. Like, she's 22. It's not like she's a kid playing like Arya and they was kids playing their characters, and then they grew over time, but she's an adult playing her character. She looks like a child, but if you put some makeup on her, you can make her look older than she needs to be, and you don't really need to recast her, because they said there might be doing some time skips and stuff. I don't know when, or they're going to add in another season to do more time skips, but they're doing it within the season. And if they do recast her with an older person, just use the same exact actor. You can make her look.
Well, they've already done it. They've already done it. So how would you feel about that? Because I think she's nailing it, and I don't know that I really want to see someone else play that character. At least I want her to be. I want to see her more. Do you know what I mean? Than anybody. Like the other girl, I don't care about the wife of the king. If they age her up or whatever, she's fine. I like her, but she's fine. But it's just like that was some really good casting they did for the younger Rhaenyra, and it seems like it could be harmful to the show. I don't know. Like, if you don't, if they change that,
right? It could be, because it's not the equivalent. but you know when I'm used to Walking Dead, for example, right? When you get used to a good version of a character and it looks like it's a certain actor and stuff, it's a little bit far out, but I'll try and tie it in. Now they start killing off good characters and stuff. Not saying they're killing off Rhaenyra, but when you kill off good characters with this actor tied to it, and they're doing a really good freaking job, and you just do this jump to this other thing here, and it's like, I don't care about this. Give me this, because this right here was better than what you was already doing. I understand you want to do something new, you want to progress the story in a different way, but if it
Should
ain't
have just
broken,
aged her up. Yeah.
right, age her up. And if it ain't broken, you don't really need to fix it that much. Unless they're gonna drastically turn her into some old woman, then sure. But she's 22. She can easily play an older version of herself.
Yeah. That was my feeling towards it. But yeah, I'm just wondering where like all of it is going. I'm kind of, I do see like that element. I also want to know where this thing with the king, he's got some illness or something, like whether it's the maester who's doing that to him. He's got him. Viserys, because he's got him putting his hands in what was it? Not leeches, maggots. You remember?
I don't remember that scene.
Yeah, he had him putting his hand in maggots because his fingers all jacked up, and then he had like some other thing where he was like there was something on his bottom.
Oh, the stuff. Oh, yeah, I remember the stuff on his back. Yep.
Yeah, and he said that was from sitting on the Iron Throne, right? But it seems like that is going to play a role. Like you can't have had like if it was just one scene, it might have been different, but like that. It seems to be a reoccurring thing. So I'm wondering where that's going. And is this Meister shady? This Meister seems like he's fucking shady, and him and Hightower are a bit of a team in terms of controlling the king.
Shady. They are shady. Because look what they're doing. Like I said earlier, look what they're doing to the king. They're manipulating him so much like he's a child. Like it's as if he's a child. Remember when he said he was going to go personally talk to Daemon? Yo, that's some ball shit. He's finally getting up and doing some shit. He's not being fucking lazy. And then they say, "Oh no, my king, we'll go do it ourselves." Like, bruh, let him fucking do it. He needs to get his ass up and go talk to his own freaking brother. Like, not you, him. He's the king. That's his brother. He needs to go talk to his brother, not you. And look what happened. Look what happened, right? It took niece coming in to save their lives so they don't die. Because it made more sense to have her talk to him and not this random advisor that Daemon doesn't like.
Right, exactly. And what do you make of him sacrificing his wife for the baby? Do you think that was his only choice because the baby would have?
I mean, I knew the baby was gonna. I knew the baby was gonna die because they were trying to do C-sections back that time.
That was bad directing, by the way. That was terrible directing. Did you notice how you never saw the baby die? It just went from the baby's alive and well,
and then the baby just died.
The baby's dead in the funeral. That was weird to me. I kept watching it back, thinking I missed something. And they
say the baby was alive, like, oh, the baby is here.
Yeah, exactly. And then it just went straight to the funeral, and I'm watching the funeral going, why is there a baby? Like, whose baby is dead? And then you find out later. But I think there was a scene they must have cut or something like that to do get the time right for the show. But I feel like that was an important.
I think they just skipped over it in general. I think they intended to very much have the baby die, but they just skipped over it and didn't even show the baby die as soon as it got birthed, because that's when the baby should have died. The baby should have honestly came out dead.
Yeah, but it feels like the Meister was saying to me that she could have lived. You know what I'm saying?
And I honestly think she probably could have. It's just that whatever they was doing, they wasn't even delivering her baby right.
Well, yeah, I don't. It seemed to me that the baby could have died and she lived, or she lived and the baby. Did I say it the same thing twice? She could have died and the baby lived, or she lives and the baby dies. That's what. But a lot of people are saying that actually, no, it was always that the baby was the only one who could have lived out of that situation. That's what I didn't understand. It was either get the C-section or take a chance and see what happens. Oh, I see. Is that what you think? Because I thought that the Meister was being shady there and like basically pushing him towards having the son live. And
well, no, like, he was pushing him towards having the son live. But see, that's the chance, right? Because they didn't even know if it was a boy, it could have been a girl. They would have killed the wife for nothing, they killed her for nothing. But it's like he still got manipulated into killing his wife. He definitely got manipulated to do that.
Can I say something to WZ? Man, I've missed you, WZ. And one day I want you to come on and talk to us. Like, you're such a mystery. I want to know who's the man behind the legend, behind the myth that is WZ. So if you ever feel like jumping on, even if it's just for 1 minute, I'd love to like just say hello. Thanks for all the support all this time.
WZ's going to pop on with a V for Vendetta mask.
Yeah, remember, kills me.
November. It was honestly either get the C-section or have her like still push and stuff. But like I said, the way they do it, it didn't even seem like they fully knew what they was doing. But it seemed like they were just so quick, like, yo, let's cut it out.
Yeah. But again, that Meister, because the writers have now said, by the way, the writers have gone out and said that no, she could have never lived in any scenario. Right? That she would have been killed in either scenario. Either it was her and the baby die, or the baby lives and she dies. And I'm just like, that's not what the scene showed. And to me, I feel like that, like maybe George R. Martin, I don't know if he wrote that scene. Maybe he meant it to be like, I mean, not the scene in the show, but like in the book. Maybe he meant it to be like that Meister's shady. Because the way it's done, it's like the Meister's fucking shady, and I think he's working with Hightower.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. They was definitely pushing him like, yo, kill that baby. Well, kill your wife.
Kill the wife. Exactly.
Because they need the boy. They definitely need a boy to rule.
Right.
Because that's the rules.
And that was sick, dude. Couldn't they have given her milk of the poppy or something? Like they just do it while she's like awake. That was fucking outrageous, bro.
They put her down and cut her open. I was like, God, that's savage.
No, that was some savage shit, man. They really need a king, bro. They really want a king, yeah.
Me personally, I was slightly just a little bit disgusted. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. But so what did you feel about the king at that point though? What was your take on his decision?
I was like, screw him. But I understand, but then I'm like, damn, dude, that's really fucked up.
Yeah.
Me personally, right? I would have let the baby go.
You would have
I would have let the baby go because it's like it's either y'all both coming or one of y'all gotta because at least with a baby you can try again.
Right, exactly, with the wife. No, with absolutely. If it's between my wife and the baby, I mean, obviously you choose your wife, but like, I mean, if it really came down to it, maybe I'd ask her. I don't know.
Right, at least ask the wife. Like, ask the wife, because she probably would have accepted it if you asked her. He just unexpectedly killed her.
Yeah.
He just killed her. He didn't even tell her. He was like, "Baby, I love you." What? Ah! I was like, dude. I was like, at least tell her you're gonna kill her.
But do you know what? To be fair, though, that wasn't his biggest mistake. This latest one was a doozy of a mistake, bro. It was a doozy of a mistake. And again, like, marrying 12-year-old girls, not the coolest thing to do in the world. But like, fucking hell, you needed to marry that 12-year-old girl. In that scenario, at that specific time, that was your only play.
Right.
It was his only play. He knew it was his only play. He said it was his only play. He said he had to do it for his duty. His own daughter accepted it. Was like, yeah, I can see what's happening. Like, for our family to stay strong, I'll let you marry her. I'll let you have an heir. Blah blah blah. She even did it. And then she had to walk out in disgust with what he did because she knew immediately it was a mistake. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when your daughter, who is the heir, to the throne, is like, you know what, Dad? Actually, you're doing the right thing. This is the sensible thing to do. Another advisor told him, right? He went to another advisor, and the advisor told him, yeah, that's the thing to do. It's like everyone told him that's the thing to do. And for no reason, just on a dime, he decides to marry this other girl. I don't understand it. What happened? What happened in between those scenes? Did she like?
They must have done something because
I mean, she must have had some.
They had to have done something.
Fucking. She went for him. She was like, "I'll suck your dick."
That's why she sent it. That's why the dad sent her and they're like, "Yo, make him a happy man. Make him a happy man. Whatever he did to educate her on how to do so." He probably taught her well because he had him in love with her in like 2 days. Literally, that was 2 days. They've probably been together, and she got him hooked.
He weak, bro. When I saw that, I was like, "You weak, bro. You weak. You couldn't have had her as a side piece. Like, you just have her as a side piece. You're the king, bro. Like, no one's gonna be like."
Yeah, and it's not like it's not like he gotta like be with this little ass girl 24/7. I mean, he just gotta get her pregnant, I guess. And there's a chance she may have a boy. This is the thing. The whole thing is
had 2 years before he even had to lay a finger on her. Basically, like at least this is disgusting, by the way, because we're talking about
it is. But we're talking in the context of Game of Thrones, guys. In the context of Game of Thrones, I am not endorsing a man marrying a 12-year-old girl. We're talking in the context of Game of Thrones, medieval times. You guys have to understand.
Yeah. Just to make sure, I just want to reiterate that at every point. But like, she said like 2 years before you have to do anything with me. He could have made that 3, 4, 5. Wait till she's a woman, kind of thing. And then like do it. So I don't really. Yeah, it's like, and then you could have had your other chick as a side piece, bruh. There was no conflict of interest. What did he want to do? What did he want to prove by doing? What political gain was he trying to prove? Like, oh, I'll do what I want as king, and you can't say shit to me. Like,
even with that, because he doesn't even seem like the type of king that would do that. Like, just to prove a point, just because I'm king. I really feel like he just did it out of spite because so many people was like diminishing his decision that he wanted to do in his mourning. I guess he probably just did it out of spite, just to take a stab at the council, and especially seeing the way the leader of House Viserys, the leader of his fleet, talked to him and stuff. I think that really like got under his skin a bit. Like, yo, all right, then I'm not getting with your daughter. Then freak you.
Yeah, but he came to him afterwards. Yo, Tony.
What up, Tony?
Bro.
I think he did it just to spite him. He probably did it just to spite him. Because if he just did it to just do. Or he just made a dumb decision. Like it could just be that he just made a dumb decision and he was not even thinking properly. I said this dude is still fresh off of mourning. Like, you know, he's still fresh off of mourning.
Why did he go to Rhaenyra? Why did he go to her and like get her blessing for it? That's what I don't understand. He goes to her, gets her blessing for it, and then like fucks her like over. You know, like by announcing a different marriage. It's like it doesn't make sense.
I guess to test the waters and see where her head was at, possibly before making any decision to see what he can do. Because it like I said, if he really didn't care, he probably would have just done it and not even told her. But I think he wanted to see what he can play with first, like by talking to her and seeing what she thinks about the matter before making a move. But I still think he did just end up making a dumb decision overall, even if he thinks it might be strategic from the what is going on in the show. That was not strategic at all.
Yeah, it was crazy. I couldn't believe. I actually gasped. I was like, really?
I was like, dude, you really want to? I mean, you might as well do it. Just marry her.
She ain't that hot, bro. Even like, you know what I'm saying? She's hot, but
she's a lot older than a 12-year-old, but like, she ain't even all that either. She ain't even all that, you know.
Like if it was like Marjorie or something like that, then I'll be like, oh, all right, I can see where this guy's coming from. Even what's his name? Who I thought was an idiot. The stock.
Sansa.
What's his name? No, not Sansa. The first stock who got killed at the Red Wedding.
Greg.
What's his name? I'll find out. He was cool. I loved him, but he was an idiot, and he deserved to die.
Trying to members of House Stark. I forgot his name too. It was Rob Stark.
Rob Stark.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I was like, dude, marry, do what you promised. And marry the fucking Friar's girl or whatever, right? Like, don't like. And she was hot in the end.
I mean,
but like, did you see her? Like, she was actually quite like a handsome woman. Like at the end of the day, I know that he saw.
What was his house's name again? What was the house's?
Friars or Friars or Friars or something like that.
House Frey.
I was like, look, dude, I get your chick's hot. She is hot. But like, marry the Frey woman, right? Whatever. And the Frey daughter ended up being actually quite attractive anyway. But even him, I was like, all right, I can see why he wanted to bang that chick. You know what I'm saying? I could see why it was like, yeah, I'd want to bang her. Like,
it was this one right here, right?
No. That wasn't the chick that no, that wasn't her.
She was.
It ended up because he was looking at all of the daughters to choose which daughter. Yeah, exactly. He was looking at, but look up the one who actually got married to his cousin in the end. The one who actually got married to his cousin was not bad looking. Because he gave the phrase the cousin instead. But in any case, I could understand looking at her. I was like, oh, all right, yeah. I could see why you'd want to like marry her instead of like one of the Frey kids. But this king, I'm like, dude, like she's all right. I mean, she gave him like a little the thing for his castle or whatever, and that like really turned him on or something. That's like,
no. She went in there. She went in there like, my lord, I read a book. You like books? He was. I was like,
you like books?
I was like, all right, man. Whatever turns you on, man. he likes a good story. You know, he's a man of class. He likes a good story.
Yeah, you like some literature and shit, dude. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen someone do in Game of Thrones, and they've done some dumb things, bro. Like that was one of the dumbest. Like, okay, Ned Stark telling Cersei, you know, to run away, like giving her an opportunity to, you know, because she told him, she said, you know what, I ain't gonna run away.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna kill you. Like you're dead, bro. And so him telling her that was probably the dumbest thing that anyone's done in Game of Thrones. This is the second dumbest thing anyone's done in Game of Thrones lore.
Yeah,
is this marriage. Like it makes no sense.
well, personally, if anything happens to Viserys, right? If anything happens,
It's his fault.
Yeah.
It's
and in
it's like,
Rhaenyra's case, right? And in Rhaenyra's case, I really don't want to see her get fucked over. I kind of want to see her be rule. We know she is. This is going to be permanent because, who's the next king that takes over? Rhaegar, right?
Yeah.
Rhaegar takes over at some point, right? I'm not sure if she's going to be Rhaegar's mother or whoever. I don't know. No, she's going to be Rhaegar's mother. This 127 years before.
Yeah, she's the great grandmother of
Yeah, so hopefully we get to see her rule. I imagine her rule is not going to be that long, but I really hope she uses these dragons and uses her power because that's all. I'll be honest with you, that's all she got is she got to use some dragons and really flex that power. She's smart, but she has the power, and I hope she doesn't freaking waste it. And not
I don't think she will. I don't think she will.
I don't think she will, but I hope they don't write her to where she doesn't utilize it the way she would, the way we expect her to.
I'm curious though how long this can go on because I don't know that this premise can last 7 or 8.
I think it can. I honestly think you can probably only do this for like one season, unless you're building up to showing us the moment Jamie kills Rhaegar and they drag this out to where we get to Rhaegar.
Unless they go through multiple generations, like that's what I want to see. Like I want to see the Mad King finally. I want to get to a point where you go, oh, all right, now we're getting Jamie, we're getting a younger Cersei, we're getting, like we're seeing all those people. That would be interesting, but I don't know that you can take this premise and stretch it out.
Yeah, you can. You can't do it for too long. I don't see how long they can drag this out. I honestly think this prequel should just keep it focused either 1 or 2 seasons and be done with it. Because you don't want this to overstay its welcome. Because that's what hurt Game of Thrones. It overstayed its welcome when the writers didn't have nothing else good to write.
Yeah,
they overstayed their welcome. They peaked at some point, and they ran out of material to work with, and we saw where it went. So,
and what's worrying is they've changed the showrunner as well.
Yeah. As I say, these aren't the same showrunners. These showrunners so far, they're doing pretty good.
No, but I'm saying the showrunner for this season is not coming back next season. For this season of House of Dragons.
Oh well.
So that worries me.
Well, was D&D on since first season, or did they come in at a certain point?
No, D&D were on since the first season.
Yeah. So. Hopefully the next showrunner does come in, they just stay consistent with what was set up. Because that's the only thing that can hurt the second season is if they don't stay consistent with what is established.
Yeah. I didn't look. I just saw the headline, and because it was on my Yahoo feed, but I didn't actually read up on it. But I'm curious. Yeah, I would be curious to know why he decided to. Yeah, he decided to leave the show, he's left the show for some reason. But Your favorite person, David Zaslav, is not he's not keeping on like because he said he loves this show. By the way, David Zaslav is really
Yeah, he
like
said he likes it. Why did he say anything else about it?
no. Apart from that, the showrunner isn't coming back.
Maybe they're doing it because they don't want to get into like a D&D problem. Maybe they want to like recycle the talent, so they get some fresh ideas in there, and also they don't run into a D&D situation.
Mm-hmm.
But they just make sure to have the writers stay consistent with what they set up, and they're good. But other than that, these first 2 episodes, I think they're solid. I'm at the point where like I want show me more. Like I want to see more. Like that's how invested I am to the show. I want to see more.
And I think the next episode it's even gonna kick off, like because the first 2 episodes are a little bit of setup and whatever, and it's interesting. Right. But I think the next couple of episodes are like it's gonna kick off, and I'm finally gonna be attached to certain characters. Like I'm gonna finally hate Otto Hightower because I feel like he's my boy, like Otto Hightower. Like I like the way he's moving. I like the way like he's moving villainous like a snake. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I like those characters, even though I hate them. I like them. And I want to see how he starts maneuvering his way in because he seems like an even slyer version of what's the guy from The Veil? Littlefinger. He feels like he could be as sly, as Littlefinger. You're not quite seeing it yet because Littlefinger, they showed you from the beginning he was sly, whereas this one is like you don't even know yet if he's sly because he's that sly. With
Littlefinger, even with all the seasons he was in, they still kind of found a way to keep us out the loop of what his true intentions was. Like he was honestly leading us on for so long, for so many seasons until we finally figured out, he wants to marry Sansa, and do this, get her free and away from there, so you can get her here and marry her and bring their houses together.
But that's why I didn't get why he gave her to
Ramsay.
To Ramsay, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, that was
clearly. That was out of character because he loved Catelyn Stark, and then he wanted, like if you can't have Catelyn, he'd have her daughter.
Right.
So I didn't think that was great. I mean, it led to something interesting with Ramsay, I guess. But have you all watched The Rings of Power though? Yes, we have. Yes, we have. And
did you want to go ahead and jump into the Rings of Power, or anything else you want to say about episode 1 and 2 of Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I mean, we could do a rating. I mean,
if I had to rate it, episode 1, 5 out of 5 for the gold cloak sequence, chopping off of the penises. That was pretty fucking savage. that was a little savage, little opener of an episode. But Matt Smith was the strongest part of episodes 1 and 2, and he really
Rhaenyra
too. But Matt Smith was like massive and Rhaenyra, but Matt Smith, I'm really like something about Damon is just compelling me to like really just mess around with him,
I think he's a petulant little child. I like Otto more, man. I'm telling you, I'm Team Otto on this, man. Like. Otto's a little
personally, I'm Team Rhaenyra. I want to see her win. I'm Team Rhaenyra. I want to see Rhaenyra win. I'm Team Rhaenyra. But
yeah. Ultimately,
but Damon, he got some swagger about him that got me wanting to like really be a part of his movement. Like I want to be a gold cloak.
No, he's got some swag, but Matt Damon is Matt Damon. What's his name? Matt Smith. Matt Smith, he's doing this thing, but like in the end of the day, he ain't as good as Joffrey. He ain't as good as you know, some of those characters, like that character type that has been in Game of Thrones before. I don't think he's as good as those guys. Like, he isn't even as good as Jamie. Jamie Lannister was like, for a guy who had swag, do you know what I mean? And just comes in and, like, you know, Jamie Lannister was like much better. So we'll see. I'll see what Matt Smith does
Jamie,
with the role, but to me, he's not tight yet. He's just like, I like him. I like him. Otto for me is like, I want to see where he goes with it, because I loved when Matt Smith said he's a cunt, and I was like, yeah, he is a fucking cunt. You can tell he's a cunt. But yeah, like, we'll see. There's some interesting characters being set up. They're not as compelling as the Game of Thrones characters. I'm gonna be 100. Like, they're not as compelling as Daenerys. They're not even as compelling as Jon Snow, and I didn't even like Jon Snow. Right. You know, they're not there yet, but they could be. Could just be a slower burn with them, and then they get there. And I think part of the reason that they're not there yet is because they're not in as interesting a scenario as the Game of Thrones scenario. That's the big problem with the show, and why it can't go on unless they're just going to do a full history of the House Targaryen. I don't think the show can last. I.e., that means like they go from generation to generation to generation. Yeah, that just, you need that compelling hook that Game of Thrones had to make the characters really pop and stand out. So yeah, and having said that, I'm giving it like episode 1 7.5, episode 2 a solid 8.
You guys, this was our talk for House of Dragon episode 1 and 2.
You didn't give your episode 2 a rating though.
Oh, episode 2, 4 out of 5.
Oh, you like the first episode more?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
When we started getting to more like, for me personally, I'm waiting to see some dragon action. I want to see some dragon damage. I want to see what the dragons got. That's what I'm waiting for, to bring me get to there and, you know, get to like some real savage stuff, because, you know, we want to see it from the Targaryens, like what their dragons can do. Yeah, guys, that's our discussion for episodes 1 and 2 of House of the Dragon. We have another topic that we're gonna throw in here. Nerdman wanted to talk about it, and since I seen it, we're just gonna focus on episode 1 for now. Since I am still finishing episode 2, I'm gonna watch it after this stream and finish it up. But Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, episode 1 is out. I wasn't disappointed in nothing. I liked it. You know, I liked it. Nothing. What more so impressed me about it, and me and Nerdman was talking about this behind the scenes, was the quality of it. Like, if they were to make this into a movie, and I saw this in theaters, like they took this episode and made it into a movie, or made this to a movie, put it in theaters. This shit looks really fucking good. Like, for a TV show, this is beyond like.
This is crazy.
Yeah, this is insane. This is honestly it's like magical.
Yep. I'm gonna come out straight away with the hot takes. That's why they call me Hot Takes Tuesdays.
What you got for us, Nerdman?
I like this first episode better than the first Lord of the Rings movie. The Fellowship of the Ring.
He said it, guys.
I said it, and I know, like, there are people already. They've already got, because they're review bombing it. Have you seen it?
There is definitely people review bombing it for sure.
Look at the Rotten Tomatoes on this shit, man, and tell me that this is fucking real.
Let me bring it up right now. We can actually look at some reviews too if you want to.
Yeah, we can look at reviews.
Now,
So
just to make it clear, real quick, I don't take none of these reviews serious for the critics or especially audience reviews. I don't take those serious because the audience just write bullshit like one word. It was funny, 5 out of 5 tomatoes, or whatever.
yeah,
But we
I'm
can look.
done. I'm done with the fans. I'm done with them. Do you know what the fans of like these kind of genre movies remind me of, like, or genre stuff like sci-fi and fantasy and stuff like? They remind me of fucking, Rain Man. Remember, the film Rain Man? Have you ever seen it?
No.
Oh man. Okay, so they remind me of those autistic people, right? Who, like, they have to have breakfast on Saturday at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Yeah. If they don't have breakfast, they freak out, right? Like at 9 o'clock. Oh, 10 o'clock. We've got 10 o'clock. We're watching this particular show, and if they don't, like, anything that goes out of their comfort zone, they freak out about.
Yes.
Right? Because they can't handle kind of new kind of sensory information. That's what this fan base reminds me of now. And I'm sick to death of it. The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, I'm not saying it's the best show I've ever seen. I'm not even saying, that there ain't any problems with it. But look at the Rotten Tomatoes score. Just a second. Can you go to the audience score?
Yep. Hold up. Go back one.
35% audience score. That's review bombing on a whole different level. 84% for the for the critics, and I'm with the critics on this. There's nothing wrong with the show. Could it get bad? Sure, but from the first episode that I saw, that was good TV. It's better than a ton of shit that I see. And certainly, if all of these guys are like, oh, because I've heard that they say it's a slow burn. It's a slow burn. Lord of the Rings is the slowest fucking burn of all time. It's on brand. You can't tell me the first movie with that motherfucker walking around. He was walking, and don't get me wrong, I think the third movie is a fucking masterpiece, by the way. Like when they finally go to war with each other and all of that shit's masterpiece level. And the directing, everything. And even the directing in the first movie is fucking great.
Yeah.
But that shit was boring for like fucking how long was the first movie? 3 hours or something like that? It takes at least 2 hours for it to get to like where it's like, oh, all right, this is kicking off. Maybe let me rephrase that. Maybe an hour and a half to this is kicking off. So don't tell me this show is a slow burn where it actually has some good action in the beginning. You've got some an elf character who's a badass, but God forbid she's a badass because she's a woman. They're already calling her Mary Sue. You've got this black character who I thought me and you agreed on was kind of intriguing, and it's setting up some intriguing kind of things that can happen in the show. I don't know what else you want from it. Now, I haven't seen episode 2, granted, but if it's more of the same of what was episode 1, I don't see what the fucking problem is. I really don't.
Let's take a quick look. And we'll take a look 5 or 4 or whatever these reviews.
Look at the ones that are 1 or okay.
Well, yeah, let's look at the 1-star ones. So the first guy says, evil cannot create anything new. They can only corrupt and ruin what good forces have invented or made.
Exactly. It's that fucking autistic fucking. I need to have my breakfast and say my Lord of the Rings has to be like all white characters because that's how it was written. It's that fucking bullshit. Evil. Are you serious? Unclear where the obscene budget was spent on. Clearly not the storytelling. Very disappointing 2 hours of my life that I can't get back. You ain't okay. Maybe he watched it, maybe he didn't. But you're telling me you can't see what the budget was spent on?
All right. This right here definitely sounds like somebody who watches Geeks and Gamers. LOL, big surprise. Token rules, Bilbo for life. Girl boss, Giga Chad, Galadriel can kick rise. That's
See what I mean?
a bullshit review.
Yeah, I like the female characters as well. Galadriel or whatever her name is was badass, man. The way she chopped up that fucking thing, I was like, she sliced him up real good, bro.
And to be fair, right, for anybody who's like trying to downplay Galadriel for doing badass elf stuff, I mean, all the elves in Lord of the Rings lore are like OP as shit. Like, if you remember The Hobbit, remember in the third Hobbit movie, that elf that was...
I didn't see it. But...
Dang, you didn't.
Yeah, no, but go on.
Let's use Legolas, for example. He's the best prime example. And we can look at many of the other elves. You've seen the first Hobbit, right?
Yeah, I saw the first one, but I can't remember shit from it.
Did you see the second?
I didn't see the second. I just saw the first one, and I was just bored as fuck.
We'll just use Legolas, prime example. Legolas is OP as shit as an elf. And he's not the only one who's like that. A lot of the elves are like that. They have this weird, elegant way of kicking ass, and they're so freaking OP. It's as if they have plot
armor. Chill, bro.
I'm not saying Galadriel has plot armor, but if these elves are not weak individuals. What up, chill?
This is Lord of the Rings talk. I just missed the Game of Thrones, huh?
I mean,
yeah. What you can say what you thought. Well, it's up to K-Dots.
You can give your opinion on it real quick. You're here, might as well speak. You guys, Chillmonger's gonna give his opinion real quick on House of the Dragon.
I think Daemon Targaryen looks so evil as the actor Matt Smith. Man, I mean, it's wrong to say that because we're all God's creation, yada yada. But that man is terrible. I think that the Rhaenyra Targaryen, based off her looks, I'm like, I want her more. But I think they're gonna do a time skip, which means we're gonna lose her.
That's right? What I said. That's what I said. I was like, she's so cool, and I can't really see someone else performing that character as good as her. But we'll see.
Yeah, it's kind of like, damn, I wish we didn't have to. But if that's what the story needs, then that's what's happening. Sort of like when you want T'Challa to be.
How soon did they say that time skip was going to happen in the season?
I don't know.
I think it might be from the next episode, even, or like next couple of episodes. They're going to do the time skip, and then that's it for the actress who's playing her. No, it's like, I'm really invested in this character. I like her. I don't know. It's like, it's even like one of those things. Like, even if you get someone really good, it doesn't matter. It's like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Silence of the Lambs.
No, yeah. I don't watch boring movies.
It's actually really good. But anyway, they switched Clarice Starling in the second movie, and it's just like the actress was good. She's a great actress, possibly even better than I can't remember her name now, but like the one who played Clarice Starling in the first one. But it doesn't matter. You when you're invested in that character like that, you can't just switch actors. But we'll see. We'll see.
You know what? Jason Momoa did fine because he was playing the dude, whatever his name was. There you go. And now he's like Aquaman, right? It launched him, so maybe it launches her. We won't get to see her in the House of Dragon show.
But in the case of Dragon, he did die. His character did serve his purpose, and then Daenerys had, she had to continue the tradition. She became Khaleesi, took his people, brought them with her, and he served his purpose. His purpose was to make her an even more powerful woman by dying.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's the whole story of everything. The remembering the names Baratheon, Targaryen, you're like, oh, your ears perk up because you're like, okay, I can get a I already know where you live because of the last name. I already know like these places in the world. That is so helpful, and it's not like a hindrance at all. I would like to see more in this world of Westeros / Essos. What's it all called when it's all together? What do you call it? The realm? What is it?
It's Westeros.
Westeros. I think when they called the, like, remember at the end of Game of Thrones, Arya was talking about she's going to go to different regions they never seen before. I think they're still closed-minded to the point where they haven't seen so many, so they just refer to the world as Westeros.
She's gonna go and colonize
like the whole planet. I think they just refer to their whole planet.
They're gonna go and colonize Africa and shit.
Do they think the world is round? Africos.
Wait, well, let me ask you guys a question. Let me ask do you guys think the Targaryens like seen more of the world than, you know?
Yeah, there's got to be a place where the dragons come from, right? Or is that is there a place in Essos?
Because they got all these dragons and stuff. I assume they probably just, you know, flew all over the world and just passed by places. I wonder if they know like the rest of the world, because, you know, when we get to Game of Thrones where they're at now, they're kind of pretty close-minded. They have a very tight kingdom where they don't go that far. They at most we've seen the Pedro Pascal's people, you know, saw some brown
Dorm.
We saw the people Dorm, some brown Hispanic looking people, and not that much like different people.
Yeah, that's why I like the race swap they did with the Viserys dude. I think their last name is Viserys. Corlys Valoris, that dude, the black one.
House Valerian. Yep.
Thank you. That's the word. Sorry about that. Viserys. Yeah. Valerian. Those guys, and having people who actually look different, that helps. It helps you. You know, like I don't know why George R.R. Martin never thought of that. He was just like, oh, they're all going to be white. Like that's pretty sus actually that he keeps doing that. You know, the story after story, he needs to. Spice
it up. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think he's reading about a particular period of time, and then he wrote it like to that particular period of time. But yeah, it's fantasy, so it could be anyone, right?
Well, maybe he's got.
So I don't really.
Maybe Arya needs to go south. Maybe Arya needs to go. Arya needs to go south where there's just more sunlight, and that's where Africos is going to be.
Well, that's why I think when George made it, he was based in like.
I've got to send you. I've got to send you something that might please you that I'm doing. In regard to what you just said.
Oh, watch! They're gonna Fresh Prince Vivian her. Says Michael Walsh.
Fresh Prince Vivian her. Oh, the main actor? Nah, they're just gonna make her. Yeah, that's gonna be. But like I said, me and Nerdman said earlier, the actor's 22, so they need to play like an older version of herself. I don't know how drastically older they want her to be in like her 40s or something. I don't know, but you can just put some makeup on her, you know, and age her up, do the little camera tricks to make her look taller than she needs to be, and you're good. All it takes is some good camera work, you know. It's not like she's going to grow that much from where she's at. She's 22 right now. Yeah, she ain't going to change that much.
Yeah.
Yep.
The dragons
I
think
they should have done that, definitely. But go on. So your overall impression is, it's
pretty simple story. They wanted a girl, a male. Instead, they kept getting a girl. And he's like, I got to make this decision. So the king is making... he's making mistakes. I can see why he makes the mistakes, but his mistakes are costly. Then we got this Daemon guy who we know is the antagonist, and he's making moves in which I disagree with because they're too strong, and he's with the police and he's all that. So, you know, I hate him. And it's like everyone is believably getting to a point of war, and slowly, you know what I mean? Like it's all good. And the hero, Rhaenyra, is I like her. Like she is my favorite character. I see how her friend Alicent Hightower got, you know, she made her way into the king's bedroom. She made her way into prominence, and I'm like, ooh, I can see the manipulation there. So she's gonna be a tight. Yeah. What? What do you mean this? What do you mean that?
We know her daddy. Her daddy was like, "Yo, I want you to get in good with the king, so our family can be, you know, tight." You know what I'm saying?
That dad is on that girl. Like, I don't know what he's doing. Like, there's something going on with him and his daughter. I'm sorry. Like, there was something in that last scene. I think he's been preparing his daughter sexually.
He doesn't have a wife
to please a king.
And yeah, because he walked in on
his wife died.
Yeah, when his wife died, I don't know about like something happened to Otto Hightower, but when he walked in on Alicent and the king, and he was never like, yo, you don't my kid, like what you're not. And he was like, oh, you must be doing what we talked about. I hate that I'm interrupting it, but like, king, this is really important. Yada yada. I think he's in there too. He's the hand. He's the hand of the king.
Well, and that's why when me and Nerman said it earlier. Him pushing out Damon is like it just makes it so much more obvious that he's trying to get in with the King's family, make their bloodline connect, and try to see what he can get out of it and push Damon away. Because someone like Damon could get too powerful to where he can axe him and do something like, yo, let's get rid of this whole council. We don't need this council. It's just us and me and my brother making decisions. And
the hand of the king. It's
the little reason he wants to be the Jaime Lannister to his what was his dad's name? What's Jaime's dad's name?
Oh, Tywin.
He wants to be the hand to Tywin.
I think he's like Littlefinger.
What the hand?
Yeah, Otto Hightower.
Yeah. No.
Hightower.
He's even Hightower is. He doesn't even show you his snake though.
Hightower is Littlefinger. I'm saying Damon wants to be the Jaime.
Yeah, Kingslayer.
Yeah,
Queenslayer this time.
But in this case, it's his brother, and like he like Norman said earlier, he actually loves his brother, but he's just been so pissed because his brother was letting his council speak for him and really manipulate his decisions and push him away. And now he resents this council. He might even resent his own people. He really only likes his niece. That's who he really only likes at this point. His brother's on thin ice with him, I think. His brother's on thin ice. The niece is fine. But the brother's on thin ice for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, anyway, we talked about it a lot. I just think it's an excellent show, like, so far. It's intriguing. My only problem is I don't have an investment in the characters in the way that I had an investment in Game of Thrones. I immediately knew, but from the first episode, I immediately knew, all right, Tyrion's my boy. I knew I fucking hate Joffrey. I love to hate him, but I didn't just hate him. I loved to hate him. He was fantastic. I thought he was hilarious. Like, just even in the first 2 episodes, I knew I liked Cersei. I knew I liked King Baratheon. I thought he was you'll be a soldier, like all of that stuff that he was doing. And I knew that I was invested in Ned because he was a fucking idiot. I was like, I like this cat, but you're an idiot. And when you die, I'm gonna fucking dance on your grave because you're a fucking moron.
I did not get those feelings from Ned.
No, what did you get from Ned?
He's so noble. If you're gonna kill and execute a man, you got to do it on your own. I'm like, that's right, with your Valyrian steel. Yes. Yeah, no,
I got it. I like Ned. I'm not saying I didn't like Ned. I'm just saying, even when a friend is like, you could have a friend and you'll be like, you're an idiot. You keep doing this, you're an idiot. I'm advising you, you're an idiot, and you're going to keep doing this. And when they have their downfall, it's like, yeah, I'm a little bit sad, but in the end, I prepared myself for this. That's what I didn't understand. Like, when Ned got his head chopped off, everyone was like, ah! It's like, dude, you should have prepared yourself for that shit. You saw what he was doing. He warned Cersei. I couldn't believe my fucking ears when he did that. He warned Cersei what he was going to do to her. Like, that she has to go in exile because he doesn't want to kill her son or whatever. You idiot. And she even said it to him right there. I'm going to fuck you. She's like, you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.
What the thing is, though, He died, and that surprise also is like makes me think, who are we gonna lose into this show? Who was our Ned? Who's going in the first season? This is gonna be a red wedding where most of the main characters die again.
You think?
Who? I suspect, and it's possible it might not happen. So I won't put all my chips there. But if they do kill a character randomly, I would say the king needs to go because that's the opening that's gonna start a war. So the king will die.
Yeah, the king.
I mean, the war is pretty much already on. Once Damon does what he does, he's going to start some shit. This crab feeder, he's no joke, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's
that mask.
He doesn't look like he's a joke, but dude, he's using an army of crabs to eat your body while you're stranded and stuck. That's some savage stuff.
That's savage, bro. That's savage. You can't even imagine that kind of thing. It's like,
look, usually people get choosy. It's dogs. Usually,
so something a dog.
The cartel have dogs eat people. This guy's like, my crab is going to eat you up.
Yeah. Like a snake or something. He's figured out a way to get crabs to eat you. That's fucked up.
It is something mystical about this guy. Like, and this ain't the first time we've probably seen something mystical in Game of Thrones. We've seen the witch, the White Walkers. They are definitely.
You think he controls the crabs? You think he controls the crabs with his mind?
Maybe. I'm not saying he's like going to be some like super like
Wouldn't it be funny if he had like a crab claw for an arm?
He probably does. He probably does. I wouldn't be shocked. He probably is part crab. Those would be his baby.
His mom was a crab. Anyway, so Chillbugger, I don't know if you had anything more to say, or should we get back to our Lord of the Rings?
I like that the dragons are distinctive and you could tell them apart. I still got to learn some of the names, but there's 10 of them, which is not too overpowered. Last time we had a dragon turn to a White Walker. Maybe we have a crab dragon. I don't know. Who knows what they'll do to one of the dragons here? But I like to see that egg get hatched.
How do you feel about Damon's crab?
Dragon.
Like more Damon or Rhaenyra?
No, Damon's looks better, more recognizable.
I wasn't feeling Damon's because I was like, it didn't have hands. Like it had wing hand. Let me look at it. Damon's dragon had a weird look to it where it was like, ugh.
We've only seen 2 of them, right? And there's how many?
Damon dragon and Rhaenyra's dragon.
But how many dragons are there?
I think 10. I heard 10.
There's 10?
You heard that too?
Only 10?
Yeah, they said it was 10.
I thought it would be like 20 or something.
And an egg.
And an egg? That's it?
Yeah, all right.
And they can't take them out like with just 10 dragons? I'll be able to take them out.
Yeah, his dragon.
10 dragons ain't that much. I mean, like,
his dragon got
look, all it takes is like 15 or 20 kingdoms to attack them, because they can't attack all of them with dragons. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you just have to come together, decide, like, all right, some of y'all are going to have to get sacrificed to the dragons. But the rest of us, whoever the dragons don't come after, will get the Iron Throne. So it's like,
I do like Damon's dragon's head though. Rhaenyra's dragon looks a lot more like approachable, but Damon's dragon looks like it strikes fear. Rhaenyra's dragon looks more calm. Looks like
the king doesn't even have a dragon. Is that what you were saying?
His dragon died, but from what I remember, he rode somebody else's dragon.
Oh, right.
So it wasn't even his dragon that he was riding. He rode a dragon that he got.
Because they don't like riding dragons, do they? Like, it's like she's the one who likes riding it. You know what I'm saying? Like her and the like they've got they're so far removed from the generations where they all had dragons and they were all riding dragons, and now it's like it's almost like it's old fashioned to ride a dragon. It seems like the way the king was talking about, like, you smell of dragon, So I got that sense.
I think that the dragon saddles are a cool touch.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Like, Cersei. This was always my complaint with Cersei. Not Cersei. Dany. I am Team Dany. That's my queen. I appreciate her. I love her. Freak Jon Snow for killing her. He's trash. She never got a saddle for none of her dragons. Always
Maybe
sitting
she
on
just
the-
didn't have the know-how. Maybe she was like, still a rookie. If she would have grown up in this era, of course she would have put a saddle on.
Yeah, but she did sacrifice one of those dragons, bro. Like, I was so pissed. She sacrificed one for Jon Snow, and I was like, oh,
yeah, I would have let Jon Snow die.
Jon Snow, you could die. I would have let Jon Snow die. Like,
which dragon dies here first? Is it going to be Rhaenyra's or Daemon's?
I think it's going to be Daemon's. I have a feeling Daemon's going to do something stupid. Especially when you try to do this crab feeder. I feel like this crab feeder dude may have a weapon that can specifically kill dragons.
Killmonger, you said who's going to die? I think it's Daemon.
I hope not. Who's going to take his place? The crab feeder?
No, they'll get another character.
Okay. I don't think you should get rid of him. He's way too... Maybe if his dragon becomes berserk and his dragon is burning down towns and he's burning down towns we never heard of in Game of Thrones, and we're like, oh, what's going on? Okay, that's the villain now? Cool. How do we stop a dragon that's loose? Yeah, if Daemon dies, his dragon can be the villain. I like that idea, nerd man. We just came up with it together.
Well, real quick, before we get back to Lord of the Rings, so who has the other dragons then? Or are they just chilling inside the dragon cave?
I think the Valerian family might have a dragon.
Doesn't seem like they have a dragon.
I think that's what I'm saying. They're relying now because they're so far removed from
on the fleet.
The days when they were using dragons in warfare. They're so far removed from that they probably have their dragons like caged up and stuff like that. And they don't care about that. They're using their fleet, they're using their sea, they're using their soldiers. And it's like, what happens to dragons when they, because the dragons need to be outside. If you remember in Game of Thrones, basically, if your dragon is like, contained or whatever, they don't grow. There was one they said that got so small it was like the size of a, like a kid or something, like a child. Like it was like you need to like have those dragons outside doing their thing, like burning up places, like for them to really be powerful like they should be. So that's another mistake the king is making. He's not relying enough on the dragons.
She did what Dany did. Locked up them poor dragons, had them skinny as shit, not eating.
That's why it took 7 seasons. Domesticating dragons.
Yeah, but Dany, the one thing I don't like about she makes some horrible mistakes with those dragons. Like horrible mistakes. Like to let any of them die was ludicrous to me.
Yeah, and that's because she was letting her advisors and stuff like get into her head, like, you need to lock up your dragons. Like, nah, look, y'all need to step the fuck out the way. Just move to, move to the lesser villages that the dragons don't mess with. But the problem was the dragons is eating people's livestock and stuff. But hey, if you're gonna have dragons, you gotta feed them. They gotta eat. Your livestock gotta make the sacrifice. Because this is the thing, you get protection. You get free protection if your dragons get to eat. Free protection.
Rookie mistake though. You gotta plan how you feed them. You gotta plan a couple of the things, and like saddles, for example. And she wasn't thinking that way. So there we go. We got to see it. It enhanced Game of Thrones, retroactively making that show better. They still can't solve the final season, but they made us think.
Right.
That's about it.
All right. So,
Killmonger, did you watch the first episode of Lord of the Rings?
Unfortunately not. I'm gonna be quiet this whole time.
Oh no!
Is there a topic? Is there a topic after Lord of the Rings?
Did
you do David Zaslav?
I mean, we could talk about She-Hulk twerking and how it destroyed the MCU. I don't know.
I don't think it destroyed the MCU, but I just wish they did that scene outside of the office because the whole sexualizing women in the workplace was a part of the show, and maybe if we didn't have them twerking inside the office and we had them doing it at home or something, it would make a lot more sense. Other than that, don't really have a big issue with the I know you got to make a GIF. You got Megan Thee Stallion, she's a celebrity. You want to make the rounds on Twitter. You want to use the celebrity to enhance the show and promote, and that makes sense, a lot of sense. It's just not in the office. That's about my extent of a conversation on that topic. Yeah, man.
I haven't seen She-Hulk. That's
think
my
you should Wait, Nerdman, have you seen this scene? You haven't seen it?
I saw the scene because it's got like it's become a GIF or whatever, like She-Hulk.
But
twerking.
have you seen the edited scene?
No, what's
The
the
K-dot
edited
cut.
scene? The K-dot cut.
I got you, bro.
Georgia.
Nice.
Look, as you know, as mediocre as the show could be for me, I did ask for that, and I got what I asked for. Is She-Hulk twerking? So I'm not even mad. I'm not mad at it. I asked for it. It's what I wanted. I literally predicted.
You wanted She-Hulk twerking? What is your? You guys are.
No,
freaks, she's a big green fucking giant woman. You're really into that?
It's because it's with the
Got
sensation.
man hands and shit. She'll manhandle your ass, bro.
I would totally want that.
You want She-Hulk manhandling you?
Yep.
With her big man feet and man hands, just going. I'm gonna can you imagine her jerking you off?
No, I don't imagine that. No.
She'll be holding me by my neck. Oh my God.
Behind you and shit, just do you like it? Do you like it? Nah, man.
Hey, look, I'm not against it. She's a big, beautiful green woman. Gamora could never, imagine. But I would totally submit. I'll let her take me. As long as you don't kill me, don't put me in the hospital. She put me in the hospital. I'm from the sewer.
She will put you in the hospital.
She break me. I'm suing her.
Gamora's kind of feminine looking. This chick is a beast. She's a beast, bro. Anyway, so Lord of the Rings. They're on their bullshit again, Chillmonger. They are on their bullshit again. These have you seen the film Rain Man? Because this is the analogy I'm giving. You've never seen. God damn, you MCU fans. You never watch any movies. Anyway, so the Rain Man is basically an autistic guy, and he has to have everything in his day scheduled. If he has to watch a game show, the game show comes on at 6 o'clock, and if it doesn't come on at 6 o'clock, he just goes crazy, starts hitting his head. It's he can't accept any kind of change in his whole kind of schedule of his day. And that's what these comic book movie, fantasy TV show, and fantasy movie fans remind me of. They are fucking morons, and they need to be stopped. Everything they do, or every complaint comes from, oh, this isn't what it was in the, it's not even not just what it was in the book or what it was. It's stupid stuff shit, the race of the elves or something. There were no black elves in the book. So because there were no black elves in the book, you're not going to watch the show as and say, okay, I don't like that they've changed the race of the elves in the book, in the show. I don't like that they've changed the race of a particular character. But at the same time, let me watch the show and see, is it a good show in and of itself? Not judge the show prior because, there's some kind of change that you dislike, and then just go, oh, the show is terrible. It's awful. Not just that it's bad or it's okay, it's meh. It's awful. It's a disgrace. It's it's a betrayal of Tolkien, all of this shit. And it was all before they'd even watched the show. And that's what's fucking terrible about it. You see what I'm saying? And they've done this, and they've already started with their, this Gandrel woman. I can't remember what her name is. Like, it's she's the main character, Galadriel. Already, she's a Mary Sue. She's a Mary Sue because she beat a fucking an ogre. She chopped up the ogre. It was a dope scene, the way she fucking killed this ogre. She's a Mary Sue already. They hate the show because of it. They've already selected it. It's like they did with the Star Wars girl. They've already selected a character who they're gonna shit on, for the rest of the time. Anyway. That's what I'm saying.
Well, Rey was a whack character, though. I mean, Galadriel's not whack so far. She's actually pretty cool.
She's pretty cool, exactly. And I don't think Rey was a terrible character at all. I don't think she was whack.
She wasn't in 7,
was
but
just
eventually over time became. Once you get to 8, 9, she went. Boop, 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 she dropped. At the start, she was okay. Then she dropped.
I didn't see any look. I don't like Rey, so I'm not going to sit here and defend her. Like, I'm not like a big fan of her, but I also didn't really see what the problem. I didn't see like this Mary Sue. She can do anything. She has no weaknesses. All of that kind of stuff. I never saw that. I saw her get basically she was getting bodied by this fucking Snoke character. Snoke had her fucking dead to rights. She couldn't do anything. So there you go. Your Mary Sue argument is completely out the fucking water. She can't.
The Mary Sue argument happened before Snoke. It was in episode 7 where she was going toes with Kylo.
Yeah, which shouldn't happen. That's when the issues kick in at the end of that movie for Rey, which shouldn't have happened.
She could go toe to toe with him, but she didn't. Though he was basically beating her almost the whole way through that fight.
She kicked his ass.
She did not kick his ass.
She kicked
Watch
Kylo's
the scene
ass.
Again. She did not kick Kylo's ass.
Scene. She kicked his ass.
Bring up the scene because she was on the. She did not snort a.
Kylo Ren had her brain, and he was like, "Let me read your thoughts," and he wasn't able to do it. She mentally got him. During the actual fight in the snow, it shouldn't have gone that long. She was like slicing and dicing. So let's just say she's a swordsman before she picked up a lightsaber and she practiced those skills.
She was practicing those skills. We saw she was practicing those skills in the beginning of the film.
Yeah. And then at the ending where he had her again, I think the planet broke apart in two, and she was like,
I got it right.
She
here.
froze him. I forget how it went, but it was just an unrealistic.
Exactly. That's when she does her thing.
Never won the fight.
The Force.
In general, she never won this fight at all. At all, she never won this fight.
There's a university
telling you
that you've got to be trained, otherwise you'd never be.
You can't just do this stuff. I mean, you can. All right, having the abilities, yes, you can have the ability of the Force, but you can't just start doing stuff and you don't know what you're doing.
I agree with you on Star Wars. She's a Mary Sue. If you want to call her a Mary Sue, I'll give you that. This chick is not. You cannot just say from the first fucking episode of Lord of the Rings or Rings of Power, she chops up an ogre and they're already like, oh, well, I can't really relate to her because, like she's so fucking powerful, like she can chop up an ogre. It's like, what are you talking about? What the fuck? It was the first scene. You don't know where she's going to go from there, what struggles she's going to face, anything like that. They were just introducing her as a badass character. That's how you introduce characters usually in films. You want to introduce your main hero, you want to introduce them at their strongest, and then you put them up against an opponent or an object, like an obstacle that is insurmountable even for them. That's the whole fucking point. It's like you don't meet Hercules, right? Like, getting his ass beat. You meet him at his strongest, and then you give him like, an obstacle again that seems insurmountable even for like the character of Hercules. So I don't.
Well, and like I say, and like I said earlier, in the case of Galadriel, like it always kind of been this way with the elves, especially in the Lord of the Rings and all that. They are kind of fucking perfect. Like they're elegant as shit. They're badass. Like they're no slouches. So her doing what she did makes total sense for what the elves can do. They may not be physically the strongest, but they are some savage killers, flawless killers at that. They can kill you with a freaking fork if they could.
Right.
That's how badass.
So that's my basic take on it. I thought the show was good. It wasn't the greatest thing I've ever seen, but like some of the imagery is beautiful. The action is really well done when there is action. And they've got, it's just really beautifully shot, and I really appreciated that. And the story is fine. It's not, they were saying that it's a slow burn, but I'm sorry, Lord of the Rings in general is a slow burn. Like that's on brand.
First movie is. Second and third it picks up.
Yeah,
first movie is very slow. Second, third do pick up.
It's like people want it to be the second movie from the beginning, but yet they allowed Lord of the Rings because we've read Tolkien. Shut the fuck. None of these guys have read Tolkien. I don't believe it. I don't believe these guys can read, to be honest. Like I'm not even gonna lie. So they watched the movie and now they're experts on the whole Lord of the Rings or whatever.
That's how it goes.
Okay, so they were willing to accept the slow burn beginning of Lord of the Rings movies, but they, because it was written by Tolkien and it was based off of Tolkien, but this one they're not willing to give a chance. It's like, what is the problem? Why? Anyway, sorry. You guys continue. I'm just frustrated at this point.
I think maybe you need to silence and mute a couple of words on your Twitter account so that these fans don't ever permeate your viewing. Mary Sue being one of them. SJW, there's another good one to get rid of. I would say female, just in general. We could do without that one. Everyone's trying to make a point who tweets the word female.
Yeah.
I have a couple of words that I blocked too, censored too.
Sneeze.
You had a wild sneeze? Yeah, so your sneeze was so wild that you needed to stop your camera to sneeze.
Yes, my sneeze is wild. It's the sneeze where like you just gotta let it go. But real quick, there's not
Have you seen the review bombing on this though, Chillmonger? The review bombing is fucking exceptional on this. They have got together and they've really ensured that they can really fuck this show before it even starts. Look at and you want to talk about toxic fandoms. Look at the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes for this. Critics versus audience score. Yeah, because people think I'm being mad just for no reason. I'm just I'm just fed up with these guys. And it's not because I love Lord of the Rings or anything like that. I don't even like Lord of the Rings that much. I might watch the rest of the show, but like just this level of ridiculousness, this level of hate. It's become a hate campaign against women, against fucking and the first thing they go to is, we're not saying this because we're sexist. We're not saying this because we're racist. We're not saying this because we're homophobic. It's because of the show and the storytelling. And we really love these characters and love these things. But every time, you see a black face in a show, or you see a woman who's a badass, it's always the same. Doesn't matter what the quality of the show is.
This blackface right here. This might be my favorite upcoming character from the show too.
He was good.
We didn't see him do much yet. I haven't seen the second episode yet. He's probably gonna do some badass shit. I'm watching the second episode after this, but I'm feeling this dude. Like, and it's not because he's black, but he does look kind of badass. So I want to see him do some cool shit. He looks badass.
Plus, his eyes are really that color. Did you know that?
Oh, so he's an elf in real life.
No,
That's an elegant brother. That's an elegant brother,
I thought,
right?
oh, they put contacts on him, and I was like, no, those are his real color eyes.
I'll just say for this chick in the middle, I don't know who she is yet, but they didn't do her no service with this hairstyle.
I think it's supposed to look like that, though.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to, but like, it doesn't look right on. It doesn't look right on his sister, or maybe I think she's could be Middle Eastern. I don't know. She kind of looked like a sister.
This is the IMDb, and as you can clearly see, all those 1-star reviews, all 9,500 of them, are from your people. That's your type of people, right, Nerd Man? Those are your guys.
Which people? What does it say? What is it? All males?
Actually, does it?
Let's
demographic.
It breaks it down by males.
Males on average give it a 6. Females on average give it a 7.2.
Right. 18, 6.9. Males 2.8.
A lot.
See that? The 18.
It says females under 18 average at 2.8. That's interesting.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Well, then maybe that's all the troll accounts who are ruining it. They're pretending to be females who are under 18.
They're pretending to be females, yeah, probably.
I don't know. I have no idea how to,
just so they could go, oh, it was the females giving it all that.
Wait, isn't the 6 like the amount of people that rate it? Or is that, what's that 6? The blue numbers under the...
Yo, that fucking 18 females is suspect, bro. You are right. Those accounts, they're so fucking dumb. They're so so they're pretending to be females so that they can go, no, it was the females who didn't like. That is a suspect fucking number. 2.8. All the rest of the females are fine.
I would say, I think that the number, never mind.
It goes from 7. So female 7.2, female 7.7, female 7.0, female 7.4. Every single female category is higher than the males, right? Apart from 18-year-olds, 18-year-old females. You're fucking bullshit.
So that was what the bot was supposed to do. It was supposed to tell yourself that you're under 18, and that's.
Oh wait! It says 6.
Yeah, it's not saying like only 6 people. Like,
no, you know why I know it's not? Because this says 36,000.
Yeah.
Now 15 from the males, 1,000 from the females. You know what I mean? Like, it should equal 36, but it doesn't.
Right. That's why the numbers aren't even accurate, and also we do have to factor this in too. Because I don't score. I don't do like review. I don't put any scores on these review sites. The only time I review anything is on my YouTube channel, and give it like a score on Twitter, which can't really be detected. But it's I don't really use these sites and add to the ratings, whether it be negative or positive. So not a lot of people use these. And anyways, I think just the people that's so diehard dedicated into this stuff, if they hate it or love it, to do these ratings.
I mean, Chillmonger, tell me if I'm wrong. Like, both of you and K-Dots, you both don't like race swapping, right?
For comic book stuff, yeah.
Yeah, for comic book stuff, you don't like race swapping.
I don't like it. In general, I don't like it. But if it has to be done, I'm not going to be the one like, oh, they got to be fired because of it. It's just I don't like the idea of it in the first place. But hey, stuck with them. Just makes you good in the role. If they suck in a role, then it's like,
yeah, why did you do that? Yeah, but you can still say that you think a film is good, even if they've race swapped, like something. Right,
like prime example, the Batman, right? Jeffrey Wright, Jeffrey Wright was a different
Commissioner Gordon.
He was black. Never seen a black Commissioner Gordon before. He was still good, and the movie was good. Now, would I cast Commissioner Gordon black? Nah, I probably would have cast him as Lucius Fox. Something else that would fit him, since he does look like a Lucius Fox. But he did a good.
I didn't think they wanted. Yeah, exactly. I don't think they wanted Lucius Fox in this.
Right.
World Cup.
Because me
But, you
personally,
know,
right? Because me personally, right? If I'm a casting director, if I see somebody, I'm going to cast them as something that they would fit, not something that's like you know. I'm not going to look at a white person and say, "Hey, you can totally fit being this white person." Like, I'm not saying you cannot do something to the equivalent of them, but you don't fit this character. You fit this character here. Like, let's say, for example, where I need to get out an Icon movie. Icon, you know, Icon is their man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you this much: ain't the only people coming to my castings are black people. It's racist, but the only people coming to my castings for that movie is black people.
Yeah, but that makes sense, though.
Right.
I mean, the argument isn't. It's about representation and proportionality. So if the 99% of people are on TV and in movies are white, then obviously if you have a black role, you're not going to even consider, like giving that to a white person,
Yeah.
right?
I wouldn't.
But the other way around, it's a little bit of a different argument. Now, I can hear reasons for why you still think that they shouldn't race swap, but you can't say it's the equivalent. You can't say race swapping a white person is the equivalent of race swapping a black person or an Asian person or an Hispanic person, because of the proportionality argument. The reason they're race swapping those characters is because there isn't the representation. Now, as I said, I can hear an argument for saying then the solution is to make more black characters and more Asian characters. I can hear that argument, but it's not the same thing to race swap a white person or a white character, especially if the character is only white by the fact that they were drawn that way or something like that. There's nothing about them specifically that says they have to be white, right? So race swapping that kind of character is not, to me, equivalent to race swapping a black character, like who doesn't have to be black. Like, I'm trying to think. Like Blade. Well, Blade kind of has to be black. Blade's got to be black because of his swag and stuff. And
yeah, like even if Blade doesn't care, even if Blade's being black, like Blade, he ain't going to no Black Lives Matter rallies and stuff. Going like black, he care about killing vampires. That's his life. But he needs to be black simply because he has a swagger about him that you can only get with him being black.
Yeah.
And he looks cool. He's a black vampire hunter. I don't want to see no white vampire hunter. We have enough of those.
Right. But there are black characters. That definitely.
Yeah, and see,
they don't necessarily need to be black. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the other problem too, right? And that's why, just prime example. I'm hoping with DC and Marvel, I see they're doing it too. The only characters you really see, if they ever do representation, especially in earlier comics, was if it was white, and then the next best thing was black. There's probably more black characters out of all the other people in comics that, if you want to represent people, than anyone who's Asian, whatever. Like the next best thing was black. But even then,
in the top 100, I would agree with that.
Right, and even then, we got to start pushing characters like Icon. Icon got to get out there. Static, especially.
I don't really think you should put out Icon. I don't.
I'd rather take an Icon over a Black Superman movie, honestly, because he is
I like the label. I wouldn't mind them doing a film or a TV show based on that label, like just as because I just don't think the characters were that strong. Static Shock was okay. Maybe
Static Shock's dope.
No, I think you guys are capping for Static Shock.
He was tight.
Black. I'm sorry.
It's not because he was black. That was part of it, but he's a young kid, young child superhero coming up. He honestly, if DC did push him like they should have, could have been up there with the next Spider-Mans and shit.
Yeah, he could be. I mean,
You gotta because you have this young kid superhero, geeky, nerdy. He's black and he can appeal to a new audience of people, not just even black people, but white people, Asian people. Because when Milestone created their comics, they was already ahead of the curve with representation. They was doing trans characters. They was even trying to do comics where they're teaching kids about safe sex and all that. That's the reason they fell out with DC. I'm not sure if you knew that, Nerdman, but they tried to do a static. They tried to do a static comic where they wanted to show Static finally getting into having sex, right? Like for his first time. And DC was like, no, you need to take that condom off the page, like off the cover. They have to hide it and keep them from showing what they needed to show, like be out there more. But they wanted them to hold back, and that wasn't the goal of their comics. They wanted to be upfront, straightforward, not hide the art.
And Dwayne McDuffie said, "We're gonna push the envelope like we always do. That's our our motto, or something like that." He wrote that at the ending of the comic book with the condom on it, and like that ruined everything.
Yeah.
The thing is, with Dwayne McDuffie, since we brought him up, he and the estate after he died had a beef over Static and ownership over those Milestone characters. I feel like we could have gotten Static to where he needed to be if his wife, Widow, wasn't at the time, like holding out and having these negotiations. She really stunted progress, because after that TV series where, impressionable kids, white or otherwise, but they all watch this and they're familiar with the superhero. All right, make a movie now out of him. And we didn't get that yet. It's coming though. And I'm glad they canceled it. I hope we get him in the new DC 10-year plan, not in some standalone one-off.
I hope we do too.
Yeah, I mean, I do.
And even then, that's where they studied his growth.
I just think the Justice League. I think Dwayne McDuffie did better work on the Justice League than he did with Icon's just he's a black Superman who's a Republican, conservative Republican who was a former slave. Or grew up
he pulled himself up from the bootstraps and he got it done. He didn't take any handouts.
And he didn't take any
He's
handouts.
almost the eternal. He's almost the immortal superhero too. He's been through so much. He's been through so much shit.
It's just weird, dude. Like the whole concept is weird. And then there's, it could make a really interesting
Icon got a dope ass origin, and then Rocket is the reason he pushes. He comes back out to be a hero again, like a young hero. That's the thing, a young child hero getting this previous hero to come out and be that hero once again.
Rocket. Yeah, I don't even know about Rocket. I've got to read more of the comics though.
You gotta read Milestone. If the shit didn't happen with them in DC, they would have been next level stuff. But DC did stunt their growth by restricting them. And you can see it because when they got on them for putting a condom on their cover page, it's like, but you have you're putting out a comic with a dead Superman on your freaking covers and stuff, or a comic where Batman is holding Jason Todd's dead body and shit on the cover, and it's like, or a comic where Batman is getting his back broken by Bane, but they can't put a condom on. It's not even that the condom was used; it was just a condom in a wrapper showing that Static was about to have sex with this girl. He's on the couch kissing her, and you can see the condom implying that it's going to be a comic about discussing safe sex.
Yeah, I want to see Milestone done as an animated film or something like that, and see how it works out. Because I'm just not sure about those characters. I think they're a better black super. I like Spawn. I know he was written by a white dude, but I like Spawn more because it seems more unique, more original, that world than the world.
I don't even think of when I think of Black Super. I don't think of Spawn.
Well, he is.
I mean, he is, but like I think of him, he's just a guy. When I hear a man who got sent to hell and is being used by the devil and has to do these acts and stuff. I don't even look like with that point. I don't even associate any race to it, like white, whatever. It's just a man that's.
I like Vixen more, for instance. I think Vixen is something that you could do a lot with. But sorry, carry on. Sorry, you were saying a man who.
I just look at it as like a man because what he did, what Spawn did, right? What that his character did, all that bad shit. It's like anybody could do that shit. Anybody could be in that position, white, Asian, whatever. Do so much bad shit, and then when you die, you end up, getting sent to hell and stuff, someplace you never think would exist, or you hope to go there.
You don't have to be black. That's right.
No, I'm not saying you have to be black. He just happens to be black. That's why. He's a character who happens to be black. I'm not saying don't like.
But that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
keep a good thing.
Yeah, keep him black.
Like,
don't
it doesn't.
But he just happens to also be a black man.
He's just an interesting character who happens to be black, and I think that's the best kind of characters you can write. Rather than characters who have to be black and that only black people can relate to. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's when you have a character who's universal like that. I'm not saying those characters that only black people can relate to or mostly black people can relate to are bad. I think that they're also great characters.
Well, in
like Black Panther, for instance. But
yeah,
I think they're universal characters.
And that's why I say even Static, right? Static was the most universal character out of all the milestone characters. That's why they did the Static Shock show. Like his show, just taking it out of him being black, as a nerd, like nerds, if you was a nerd, you can appeal to his character. You can appeal and be where he's at. Like, if you was a nerd growing up in the early 2000s, you can easily relate to that character, like off top, because it's like relating to Spider-Man. Like when most of us do relate to Spider-Man on a personal level because we was in his shoes to an extent.
This is the cover of Static. You can see up top. This is what it was when it was unedited, right? It's just the cover, and there's a condom down here.
Exercise anniversary edition.
But what they did was they put this black, like it's a whole. It's actually this whole black thing is a page, and behind the page is the original cover art of that. And so that at the front of the comic, like if you're just like walking by the shelves, you're gonna see this. And then when you unfold, do you get what I'm saying? When you turn the page that is all black, then you get to see the entire picture of them doing this. So condom was hidden. That was the compromise.
DC.
So what's the latest Zaslav? I have to go in a minute, but like, what's the latest on Zaslav? What everyone hates him still, or?
Well, so I mean, something came. Oh, he canceled DC fandom, so that's not happening this year.
Tartar sauce. You know what? DC fandom shouldn't be annual. You need to DC fandom every 2 years, or you need to decide you're going to make Comic-Con a thing, or you're going to decide, I don't know, DC 22.
Yeah, you got to pick one or the other. Like, you can't.
Why is he canceling DC fandom?
Because fandom is unneeded. What are they going to talk about? Flash and Aquaman? They did that last year. But since everything got moved back again, you think they want to have the same old rigmarole? Oh, guys, check out the new movie that we have. Yeah, you told us about the Static movie like 2 years ago.
And also,
space them apart.
It was revealed that they don't even have the money to release. They can't release any more movies this year because they don't have the money to do it. As I've admitted it, so they ain't got no money for fandom. So they're kind of broke until next year, until we can see what happens.
Why are they broke until next year? What does that even
mean? They said they can only release Black Adam and that Florence Pugh movie. They financially cannot release another movie this year.
So like, why release Florence Pugh movie over anything else? If you've
that's what I'm saying. Like, I would have put Shazam in her spot.
Yeah, exactly.
Movie the next year.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you? What sense is that? It's a movie that's definitely not gonna like do any box office numbers.
Right.
Like
The only movie that's possibly doing box office is gonna be Black Adam for Warner Brothers, and that's it.
they should just put out Flash, bro. Like I swear to God, like
Just-
yeah.
What movie did them in? What was the like big box office flop? Because didn't Godzilla do fine? The Space Jam did fine, right? It wasn't a bust, was it?
Godzilla was the only same day release film that was successful for Warner Brothers. Like
I've
really,
been meaning to go. I've been meaning to go and watch Super Pets in the cinema, which is it's my bad.
no, they
Like,
took it out.
they took it out already because
It-
that was
it-
my bad. It was a good film, but who thought that was a good idea to make? Like who thought? Because for Super Pets to be a thing, like where it actually made bank, it had to be so good. Like I'm talking Megamind or like one of these Pixar movie, like one of the best Pixar movies. Like it needed to be like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse good. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like for them to really, why would they put that movie out? I don't understand like the thinking behind Super Pets at all. Like it's a good movie. Like I'm not gonna lie, I liked it, but it isn't that good. It's not that good where it's like, holy shit, you just blew my mind. You made another Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse kind of thing.
And then Space Jam made a budget of 150 million. It only raked in 163 million. So when you factor in marketing, yeah, this was a flop, unfortunately. Ugh. But maybe they did generate enough HBO Max subscribers and they kept that platform relevant. That's harder to measure. Space Jam, 150 million budget, but
Yeah,
only
Space
163.
Jam bomb. Anything else that was same day release, like pretty much bombed and got hurt in the box office. Even they, look, James Gunn Suicide Squad, that got fucked over too. That should have been only in theaters. I'm gonna keep it real.
No,
yeah.
it would have done the
same day,
same.
that same day release
It
bomb.
wouldn't- You are imagining the imagination on you, bro. That movie would have bombed no matter what. Even if you think it's good, to think that you think that movie would have made money is crazy. It was an R-rated, right, superhero movie of a franchise that wasn't even beloved in the first place, and the only people who loved that, who actually liked the movie, they betrayed them by making it completely tonally different from the first one. So there were a contingency of people who actually liked that movie and probably would have come out and supported the next one. But you fucked them over because you made that you tonally shifted it to something completely wildly different. And it was R-rated, so you couldn't have families go. It was a completely absurd, stupid idea that should have never seen the light of day. James Gunn can go back and fuck off to where he belongs.
Now
I'm sorry.
He's saying here at DC because this thing, right? Deadpool made bank, R-rated. Deadpool 2 still made his bank. That movie sucked. Made his bank. Joker,
Deadpool
that
2
made
didn't
bank,
suck.
and it's R-rated.
Deadpool 2 didn't suck. Deadpool 2 was good. I mean, like
Deadpool 1 was way better.
no.
Deadpool 2 took all the good jokes from Deadpool 1 and just sullied it. Sullied. The only joke I liked was the short legs joke when you had the baby.
Yeah.
I just liked Zazie Beetz as Domino.
She was hot too.
And the way they showed her powers, I thought was awesome. So I didn't really mind.
She didn't look like Domino, but she was pretty hot.
That's what you were saying earlier, Nerd Man, about how I want the races to be consistent, but like, yeah, sure, they changed Domino. I could still enjoy the performance.
I think they definitely should have painted her skin gray and put the white. Yeah, she had the freaking
Vitiligo.
the bullseye. Yeah, we get vitiligo. But she had the bullseye on her eye. All you had to do is paint the rest, paint her skin gray, and you got Domino. I would have been okay with the afro. I wouldn't have been tripping about that.
You wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I would have been okay with it. I mean, it's just hair.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Nerd Man's favorite YouTubers would love that.
I mean, hey, Ezra Miller's the Flash, and Bart supposed to have blonde hair, so I'm not. Well, orange, ginger hair.
Bart. What are you
I mean,
talking
not
about?
Bart.
You're talking
Barry.
about Wally West.
No, Barry. Barry's supposed to have blonde hair.
He does have blonde hair, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Is ginger a swear word where you're from, Nerdman?
No.
Okay, I remember.
Well, you can't call ginger people gingers in Canada.
I think it is. I don't know where I got that perception, but I feel like that's a slur. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, that's because we make the fun out of the gingers with their ginger minges.
I'm not partaking in this because I don't know how sensitive this topic is.
I think it's.
That's the first question any English person asks a redhead. Your minge, ginge. You know, so.
Tony says in the live chat that speaking of Domino Chill, do you think she is coming over with Deadpool? No.
Yeah, I think she might get rebooted. They might.
Suicide Squad 2016 is a masterpiece in comparison with the James Gunn one.
No. You're alone on that hill, Dirt Man. I'll give you this. The characters from Suicide Squad 2016, like Will Smith, El Diablo, and Harley Quinn and Amanda Waller, were the best parts of that thing. They're the only good things you can take away from that movie.
No, but they were better than any characters in the new one. They were.
I thought James Gunn Harley Quinn was better.
No, she wasn't.
She was way better.
Terrible. She had nothing to do with
David Ayer. David Ayer,
javelin or whatever.
No, because this is what David Ayer did. David Ayer is such a horny little boy. He took Harley Quinn. Was like, ooh, I need to put her in booty shorts. I need to, yeah. I look.
Wait a second. That's right though, because that's what the character's been in the comics. So I'm sorry.
Nah, that's what those later comics did. That's what those later comics did to
trying to make her some feminist icon fucking bullshit like they always do with these characters. I can't stand it. Like, let's be real. What is Captain Marvel in the comics? What has she been? She's been some chick in a leotard who is hot, right? And that was her whole fucking character. Like, she's powerful and hot. Don't try and make her into Wonder Woman and try to make her some feminist fucking bullshit character when she's not. She's a sexy character. That's what she was in the comics. Either you live with that and make a movie about that, or you go, I don't like that kind of objectification of women, so we're not going to use her. One or the other, because trying to add these layers of like, oh, suddenly she's about female empowerment and blah, 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 when she's never been that is bullshit. And that's why I think what he did in the Suicide Squad was right. That's what Harley Quinn was in the comics. She started off in the animated series as, you know, like kind of goofy or whatever, but as soon as she got into the comics, they started sexualizing her. And that's what they did in the film. And I think it was fine.
I thought it was. Look, this is me, right? I would totally bang Harley Quinn, but look, when you this is the reason why I was like, yeah, it was meh. You go from this badass, recognizable, iconic comic outfit,
J.
And
you can't do that. You can't have her wearing that.
And then you go to like this. Like, this is just the only recognizable thing about this is the braids. The hair, the hair dye. I can see James Gunn David Ayer's Harley Quinn was inspired by the newer day Harley Quinn. Yeah. But you know, you're not even like, this is Harley Quinn.
She was good in the movie as well, and she wasn't just.
She wasn't bad. I'm not saying
she was good. She was good in the movie.
They're literally seeing when she's stripping on a pole. Joker. Sure. Joker has her stripping on a pole, and then he gets mad, like, "Oh, why you hitting on my girl?"
That was in that scene was taken directly out of Brian Azzarello's Joker. Like that, there's a graphic novel by Brian Azzarello called Joker, and Harley Quinn is literally dancing on a pole in the beginning as Joker's watching, talking to goons. So Margot Robbie was trash as Harley Quinn. I believe she's been trash ever since the first Suicide Squad. I'll agree with you on that. But in the first Suicide Squad, I actually liked her.
I mean,
I actually
she was good in the first one.
Harley
She sucked in Birds of Prey, and I liked her in James Gunn's Suicide Squad, but she sucked in Birds of Prey.
Harley Quinn annoys the shit out of me. Ever since the beginning, I've never liked her as a character. Even in the animated series, it's like, get out. Let the Joker do his thing, bro. I get the fuck out of here with
she
this
always
shit.
been tight because this the problem was, like she come up with an idea and Joker takes it and it acts like, he acts like, yo, it's my idea. When she be putting in work for Joker. Joker don't appreciate his queen that much,
I don't think Joker really should have a sexuality. I just don't. He should only get turned on by trying to fuck up Batman. That's what I think. I don't like him. What does he do with her? Does he sleep with her? I don't see Joker really being into any of that. So for me, it's like,
look at it like this, Nerman. He uses her to take all his frustrations and angers and all this and puts it and thrusts it inside of her. Basically, just like his abuse, he uses her like a rag. She's a rag. He wipes off all of his, little dirt and stuff and discards it. Doesn't really wash the rag. He keeps using the rag over and over again to wash his dirt over and over. That's what Harley Quinn is.
I do think she worked in 2016 Suicide Squad for once. I was like, she has a few layers to her, and there was an emotional side to her, a little bit of emotional depth, like to her at times. And it wasn't in the script; it was because of Margot Robbie's performance. She did a really, really good performance in that film. So yeah, I liked her from it, and that was until this new animated series, that was the best I've liked Harley Quinn. In the new animated Harley Quinn series, that is the ultimate Harley Quinn. Like any media.
A cool line in 2016 when she goes, the voices say this. Just kidding. That's not what the voices say. That was a good line.
That wasn't good. You thought it was a good line? Are you being serious?
I'll be honest. I think Lady Gaga will be better. That girl cray. Not crazy in the bad, but like she's crazy. But like Lady Gaga, she does some cray stuff. I think she's gonna sell it as Harley Quinn, and she can sing too. And
she looks like a crazy Harley Quinn. Like that would be. I think she'll be cool. She may well be better. You're right. But I hope it's not a musical. I really.
No, it is gonna be a musical. What they broke down what it is. It's literally gonna be like you seen Disney Tarzan, right, Nerdman?
No.
Damn.
Is it good? Yeah, I know it's got.
I'm trying to think of a good any Disney musical.
It's got Phil Collins music in it, like every once in a while or something like that.
Yeah, all right. In Disney Tarzan, right? There's probably one musical number for sure. And then they have segments where they have music play and it goes along with a montage. It's kind of going to be like that. It's not going to be more so like a music every scene like Grease. It's not going to be like Grease. It's not.
Yeah, well, I don't want any of it. I want the same thing that was in the Joker one, but better. And if they don't do that, then I think they will find that the movie is very divisive. Don't change up the tone of your movies in the sequels. It's a bad idea. I can't think of an example where it's worked. The best sequels do similar things to what the first one did, but they escalate the scenario. Do you get what I'm saying? Like they make the scenario bigger. Like Terminator 1, Terminator 2. Then you've got Terminator 3. See what I'm saying? Like the tonal difference, how that tonal shift like fucks it. Just don't do it. It's a bad idea. Wonder Woman 1, Wonder Woman 2. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good idea.
Well, look, I trust Todd Phillips. I think Joker 2 is gonna be because I would look. I feel you. Like I'm not really into musicals like that. Not saying I hate them, but I don't want this to be a musical like Grease. If this is gonna be a musical like a traditional Disney musical where it's like musical numbers and then they still have the story, fine with me. I don't want to hear people singing like every single line in the whole movie. That's really gonna like throw me out. But how I think they're gonna do it, all the musical numbers are gonna take place in his head. Like whatever is gonna happen in their heads. And want to see their emotions and everything get expressed through dance. Because if you remember the first movie, Joker's dancing was like him releasing his stress and all that, calming down. It was therapeutic.
Just pretty super.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Like it makes sense where they're doing it. I just hope he executes it right.
Well, I highly doubt it.
I don't want this shit to be like
Superboy. Why don't you come on and face me, bro? You like to talk some mad trash, bro.
Superboy got a new laptop too. Superboy, he got a new laptop.
So Superboy, come talk your trash to me, bro. Mad trash about DC. I'm a DC fanboy and all of that kind of shit. And Joker's dope. Joker's doper than. Anyway, I'm not gonna. The Joker was dope.
This sickness, bro.
Having said that, I actually have to leave soon. But
well, we can get ready to wind it up because I do want to watch this Lord of the Rings episode 2. Oh, let me tell you guys what happened today. A little adventure I had. So I went to go to have some dinner. Went out with my friend, ordered some fresh oyster, chicken tenders fried, and a pork. I'll order some pork with some jasmine rice. A pork adobo with jasmine rice. Good ass fucking food. So good. Tasted good. And we ate outside. They have a part where you eat outside and part where you eat inside. You know, we wanted to eat outside, so try something different. This fucking bee was buzzing around my food and my table so goddamn much. I literally lost my appetite and was like, we gotta go. Just as one bee. You know how bees buzz around you and they don't like mess with your food, they just buzz around you, they just fly. This piece of shit.
Was it a wasp or a bee? You have bees out there rather than wasps?
Yeah, we say in California, we don't get wasps. Well, we get wasps. We don't get wasps like that.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Because I have this wasp that does the same thing to me. It fucking pisses me off like a motherfucker, man. And I never kill insects because I feel I think that's wrong.
Okay, Batman.
Yeah.
Okay, Batman, you don't kill, huh?
My no-kill insect rule. I've got no-kill insect rule. That's the thing that separates me from my villains. But yeah, I don't kill them, so like it's just there.
I mean, I've killed less bugs as of recent, but if they do come mess with me, I will stomp them.
Maybe the bee is what got you sick.
Nah, I already wasn't really feeling well when I was eating the food. Well, I wasn't feeling well before I ate the food. It wasn't when I ate the food because then I would know if I got like some food poisoning. But nah.
All right, homies. I've got to bounce though.
Yeah, we're gonna get ready to wind it up anyways. Chill. You got 30 burning questions tomorrow?
It's coming 12 hours from now. Be on my channel.
I'll be there, you guys. Me and Terrence were supposed to stream, but we won't be because I gotta heal up. But I will be on Chillmonger's stream. I will stream tomorrow. And I'm gonna put out a video talking about She-Hulk twerking and how and talk about the physics of the twerking that was taking place.
The sports science. Okay.
It's a CGI creation, bro.
Someone got paid to animate. Someone got paid to animate that too, man. Shit, I wonder how much they got paid.
No, they said Tatiana Maslany said it was her. They put the whole like digital effects and everything.
Oh
there.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I know it's her. She's definitely mocap throwing it back.
Mocap.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
wow. Okay,
All right,
I want to see that. That's what I want to see. I want to see her do.
I want to see her doing. I want to see the behind the scenes. All right, you guys. But yeah, video comes tomorrow talking about the She-Hulk twerking. It'll be a surprise of what the video is going to be, but I will be talking about She-Hulk twerking. Be on the lookout for that tomorrow. Thank you all
And
for watching.
Superboy, come and face me, bro. Come and face me. You're lucky I have to leave. You are lucky. Anyway.
Catch you guys later.
Catch you guys later. Peace.
All that jazz, and we'll close it out with.
What did you do? What did you do?